Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, deep into the rabbit hole. We're like-minded me. Welcome to the rabbit hole, the truth we see. There's lizard people everywhere, the conspiracies be.
Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, uninvited from the rabbit hole. The weak-minded sheep for the open-minded people, not the little but the weak.
We have before us the opportunity to forge a new world order.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society.
And for future generations.
Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. We don't have time for a
new world order.
Yes, everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to Rabbit Hole Ramblings. It is Sunday night. It is time for a drink-a-thon. We are participating in Only Cans episode number 666. I can't wait for episode 666. That's going to be a bonkers one. That will be absolutely mental. Guys, please do what you have to do. As you know by now, we like to smash the like button. As if the world wasn't run by reptilians. Hit the subscribe button if you believe that the world is potentially a different shape other than the one that it has been told to us that it is. Stop. Hit the notification bell if everything's a little bit crazy and it just doesn't make sense. And of course, drop them comments. Let us know what your thoughts are as we go through. I'm here tonight with my main man, my partner in crime, Nikos from Spain. And we've got fan favourite Johnny Boy Carini, also known as the Dog Whisperer, back in the house for the evening. Guys, John, I'll start with you. How are you, mate? Are you excited about tonight? But so before I do, can I just say, we always quickly, just very quickly, we always try and break new records of like concurrent live streaming at the time in terms of viewers. I think last week, was it Friday? I think we did it, or Thursday. We got to 81. 81 people were watching at the same time, which is unbelievable for such a small channel. Today, straight out of the traps, we're already on 36, which is more than we got to in the first and second show at its peak. So this channel's going one way. It's going one way, and that way is Suppressionville. It's getting absolutely shadow banned before we know it. So make fun of this channel whilst you can. John, how are you, man? Good to see you.
I'm very good, thanks, Sean. Yeah, good to be here.
Good to have you, my man. Good to have you. Nikos, how are you, buddy? You all right?
Good, man. I'm still recovering from the show the other night. It was a long one, that one. I did the review the next day on the timestamps as well. That was another 3 hours worth of pain I had to put myself through, mate, with a hangover. Oh, I felt terrible. But I promised some of the people in the comments that I'd be on my best behaviour tonight. So,
mate, don't worry about being on your best behaviour, mate. Just be yourself.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Nah, listen. Don't worry about that, mate. There's always going to be people in the comments that are going to have an issue with something that someone says. Listen, coming from the Tottenham space, you can never please everybody all the time. Some of the time, you can't please anybody any of the time. So, you know, it is what it is, mate. Don't worry about that, mate. Just be yourself, buddy.
I thoroughly enjoyed these, but I think I enjoyed that one a little bit too much. So we're going to try and be on our best behaviour tonight. I promise Mrs. Marple I'll be on my best behaviour.
Oh, was it Florence? Was it
Florence Marple? Yeah, I promise.
Oh, Florence, you're putting him on the naughty step. Is that what you've done, Flo? You put him on the naughty step. Listen, Florence, if you make those sorts of claims, then when you come on the show, you're going to also be held to the same sort of standards. That's them the rules.
You know what they say. You never get a second chance to make a first impression, and we've got new people here.
That's true. That is true. There are new people. There's 41 of us in the traps. I love to see it. Listen, Nick, You know what? We can go off on any tangent here. We can go off in any particular direction, John, as well. And I have got about 35, 40 new videos that we can drop. Some of them are about chemtrails. Some of them are about AI, all sorts of things. But by popular demand, a lot of people have been asking us to get some topics that they want handled out of the way or spoken about. And so I'm going to allow you, Nick, because I said to you, I don't know this particular one. I'm just about to upload all of these. You asked me to upload all of these album covers for the Beatles conspiracy. Is this the one about not John Lennon, the other one, right?
Paul McCartney. It was actually John's suggestion a couple of weeks ago. But if you remember, actually, before John suggested it, I actually told you about it, I think about a month before. But it's like one of the unspoken conspiracies and one of my personal favorites. So, if we've got some stuff to talk about that, I could chat all day. Okay.
I'm just trying to get these. There's a couple of, for some reason, I can't get album 3. I can't seem to grab it. I'll find another way of getting it up there. Same with album 5. Let me just grab these quick screenshots and then we can get it. Do you want to give us the sort of preamble to the story? And by the way, John, if you are also familiar with this one, feel free to jump in.
Yeah,
and I will step back and let you guys educate all of us on what is going on with the Beatles.
It was actually John's subject, so not to hijack it, but it's a really fascinating story, and it revolves around the apparent death of obviously Paul McCartney in 1966. And the story goes something along the lines of there's a video called, I think it's The Last Testament of George Harrison. It exists and it's been on the internet for about 15, 17 years or something like this. But I first come across it when I first started getting into conspiracies, and it's still available, I think, somewhere on the internet, in some crevice somewhere. But the story goes that an entertainment company in America called Highway 61 Entertainment, they received a cassette tape, 2 cassette tapes and a cassette player in 2005, in July 2005, from allegedly George Harrison. And it's the confession of their cover-up of the death of Paul McCartney. And honestly, it's fascinating. Like back in the 60s, they were obviously the biggest thing on the planet. There was, even self-proclaimed bigger than Jesus. John Lennon come out and so bigger than Jesus, and had this huge hoo-ha about the launch of the Beatles in America. There was a burning club that was started by a guy called Tom Charles, I think it was, on the back of him actually proclaiming we're bigger than Jesus. But anyway, the story goes something along the lines of, in November 9th, 1996, at Abbey Road Studios, there was all recording, the Beatles were all recording one of their albums, obviously very popular at the time. And there was a... Let me know which one of these, in which order you need me to bring these up in, okay? Yeah, I'll just quickly sort of give a summary quickly, and then we can kind of have a look at some of the sort of the visual evidence of their sort of conspiracy, because they put a lot of clues into their LP covers that people might know of. Again, I think we mentioned it briefly before, but very, very quickly, they actually had a recording contract to bring out an LP that year in 1966, and they was finalising the touches on it, and John and Paul had a falling out over the the lyrics on one of the particular songs I was making. I think John Lennon was very into, can't think who was into, but they both had different styles of music they was both into, and they basically had a falling out. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, that morning, Paul McCartney left the Abbey Road recording studio in his white Austin Healey, and it was raining very, very hard. And an hour later, an MI5 van turned up at Abbey Road Studios just as the other 3 were wrapping up their recording sessions. They were called to the scene of an accident that was about 3 miles from Abbey Road Studios, and there was a white Austin Healey that had been in a catastrophic accident. It was that they was asked to come to the scene because they wanted to identify the body of the person that was in the white Austin Healey. The reason why MI5 were actually called to the so quickly to the scene and take charge of it, because it was a high profile situation. They do obviously that kind of thing, as you may know. So yeah, so a guy called
What year was this?
1966. This was on specifically November 9th, 1966.
Okay. How many
Okay.
albums had they already made at that particular point?
They've made a few, but they made them under a different band name, the Quarrymen. I don't know if you know. They
Oh,
made
this is before they were the Beatles.
No, this is why they were the Beatles, but they'd only just sort of in the infancy of what people knew to become the Beatles. They didn't actually have a very long career as a group, to be honest. They only had like a very short period of time. Like most people don't think that. They think they had like decades and decades and decades as a band, but the actual Beatles themselves only had a very, very short career.
Okay.
But anyway, long story short, the accident happened because Paul McCartney, who was somewhat of a womanizer, quite famously in the 60s, he obviously left the studios in some sort of rage with John Lennon's disagreement, and he flagged a woman down who was walking down the street. Her name was Rita, and he picked her up, and she obviously realized who she was in the car with and went into a bit of a frenzy and caused the accident. So she was the one that actually called the police, and at the scene of the accident, when the Beatles got there, the other three, they was there with the MI5 agent called Maxwell, and she was there. They obviously, Maxwell told her that's who that was in the car with him, and she explained to them what actually happened, and the car basically flipped over. He was decapitated at the scene, and the car exploded. So it's
Wow. Okay.
yeah, so this is the greatest part of like a conspiracy. You know, it's got a bit of death, it's got a bit of mystery, it's got a bit of a cover up, it's got governments involved. It's quite like infatuating. Like, to be honest, the more we get in like to the rabbit hole with it. But the MI5 agent who was actually at the scene, who took charge of the case, he made a joke, a jib at the body. He actually showed the Beatles the body of Paul McCartney, and he had lost quite a lot of his facial structure, and 2 molars had gone through his cheeks in the accident. And he made a joke saying he looks somewhat of like a walrus. He looks like a walrus. And
Okay.
this is where the "I Am the Walrus" song come from. So yeah, Her Majesty's government decided that we've got to make a decision.
If he wasn't if they weren't that famous at the time,
they were
then-
famous. They were famous. It must
they
have
were
been like second off. Yeah, it was like the second or third album, but they hadn't done America yet. They was big in the UK. There was like a big UK band, but they wasn't like hugely famous in America. This would have been 1960s. This would have been 1966. So they decided to go with the MI5 agent to their warehouse, or wherever they take them in these situations, and decide what they do next from here. They decided that John Lennon had a backlog of 50 McCartney-Lennon songs, and that they could carry on, on the pretext that they had help from MI5. So they decided to concoct a plan of actually finding a lookalike for Paul McCartney. And this is where the current person we know as Paul McCartney come in. He was actually known as False Paul. That's what they used to call him. In some of the George Harrison's more later interviews, he actually referred to Paul McCartney as Fool a lot. And that's where it comes from. It's the False Paul. But they had to see, the MI5 had like the best plastic surgeons, and they actually held a Paul McCartney lookalike contest in an American teen magazine called Tiger Beat. It was in conjunction with a guy called Dick Clark, American Bandstand, and they actually held a contest. And this, it's fascinating that they did this, but there wasn't actually a winner announced. And the winner, unbeknown to them at the time, was actually chosen to be the person to be Paul McCartney. And the person they chose was a guy called William Campbell. There's a picture of him in one of the centerpieces of one of their LPs. He was happy to do so, and the cover-up started from there.
Yeah, but what? Like, why though? Like, it would almost make them more popular for someone to have died than to replace someone who had died and keep it all a hush hush thing.
The consensus that they come to, and from what the confession tape said of George Harrison, was that the Her Majesty's government decided that there would be a lot of suicides. They thought that Paul McCartney's death would actually lead to more deaths, and that's how they convinced the Beatles to kind of carry on with it, because it could actually quite a somber event that would transpire into more events. So I think it's more to do with the money side of it, probably.
It just seems like I don't know. John, are you buying this one or not? Like, I mean, to me, like this, I've heard of it before, that the fake Paul McCartney thing, but like, I was never into the Beatles, and I just feel like that particular conspiracy theory. Like, I mean, if it's true, it's a hell of a lot of effort. You know, why didn't they do that when the guy from One Direction fell out of the window at the hotel, or whatever? You know, like they didn't do that. They didn't keep it quiet. I don't know. Like, to me, did he fall or was he pushed? I don't know. But I just feel like like this one is a bit of a stretch in terms of the effort to go to versus the kind of, I don't know.
The good thing about this one is there's actually like some sort of type of like credible evidence that you can put your fingers on. Just to sort of briefly sort of finish the summary is, you know, when they decided to actually go along with the cover up, Paul McCartney was not part of the royalty program. So John Lennon and the other remaining two Beatles, they set up a Paul Corporation, APAUL, but it was changed 3 months later on Company's House, or whatever the equivalent was, to Apple Corporation. So they owned all the publishing rights to the Beatles, whereas Paul McCartney was paid a salary. And their first album, their first album there was called...
That's the first one, is it?
Yeah, and it was actually originally going to be called Rubber Paul. That's what.
Which one of them is Paul McCartney one top right?
Paul McCartney's top right, yeah. So this album basically is Paul McCartney looking up from the grave. So at his funeral that they had in Blackpool, this is their version of what they thought he would see. So that album was going to be called Rubber Paul, but they changed it to Rubber Soul to make it not so obvious.
This is their first album.
This is the first album after the death. Yeah.
After the death. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's this?
So on the reverse of that first album, they actually got like Paul McCartney smoking a cigarette. At the time, was known as a coffin now. So like it's you know, there was clues they started very, very early on that first album, but they got a bit more crazy a bit in some of the more later ones. Their second album was called Revolver. I don't know if you got that one.
Which one's this one? Is this one?
Album 2. No, it's like a drawing.
That one.
That one, yeah. Basically, Revolver, it represents revolving door to symbolize the passing of one Beatle and then obviously the adoption of William Campbell as the new Paul McCartney. So there was too many scars on Paul McCartney's face going through the plastic surgery process that they couldn't actually do photos for the album, which is why they've done an artistic drawing as the actual album cover. After Paul McCartney died in 1966, they announced the next day that they weren't doing any touring anymore. So they stopped touring. So at this point, there was only a studio band. For a long period of time, they was actually just recording their music in studios. But on that album there in particular, there's Paul screaming on one of they used to give you lots of like inserts into all of these albums. But on the back as well, there's like little clues. And on that one there, there's like, you see on the top left-hand corner there, you can see Paul McCartney is represented looking away from the other 3 Beatles. So there's 4 Beatles on the front cover, but the one in the top left-hand corner is looking away with just one eye. And he's got a little Paul McCartney in his ear. And it's basically like a nod to the fans to say, listen, you know, look out for the clues. So they started the sort of process of trying to tell their fans in this particular album.
I don't know about this one, mate. This is all a massive stretch for me. It's a massive stretch. John, let me ask you, mate. Are you buying into this one?
Yeah, I've heard this one for quite some time, and the symbology on it is quite obvious. And when you look on the Abbey Road photo, you know, where they're crossing is black and white. So that's symbolizing duality, isn't it? And the Masonic checkerboard, the black and the white. Also, the current Paul McCartney is a lot taller than the original one. But if you look on that where they're crossing Abbey Road,
I don't think I've got Abbey Road on here. All I've got is the first one we looked at. I've got this one we just done.
Yeah, look on this one here. Abbey Road wallpapers where they're crossing the road, the actual road.
Okay, yeah, I haven't got that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just because it's black and white doesn't mean that every time you see black and white doesn't mean it's representing duality, does it? I mean,
no, I'm just saying it adds credence to the story, though. The fact that they're taking photos on all of their albums, but this is the first album where they're all of a sudden not touring, and there's a drawing that's done as the album cover. You know, put up another one of the albums there. Put up another one. A few more
what's this one?
Oh, this is Sgt. Pepper's, mate. This is the most like infamous.
Alistair Crowley's in this one, isn't he?
Yeah, what that actually is, that's a funeral scene. So the top part of that is the front of the LP, and it represents a funeral scene. It was a crowd made of people that John thought that Paul McCartney would like at his funeral. And there's so many clues here. There's a clue. If you put a mirror through the drum, see where it says Lonely Hearts Club?
Yeah.
If you put a mirror right across the middle of that, it reflects 1 as a number 1, and then ONE 1, and then another 1, and then an X, he died. So it's like I don't know what the word of what the terminology is to call that, but it's like a hidden little clue there. It also shows a date of 9th of November, he died, in one little mirror image on that drum. So that drum itself has got a lot of like hidden clues to it. But also there's like a floral design on the front of that LP that says the Beatles in red flowers. And there's one of their rugby trophies were held between the L and the E in Beatles, so that it says lives at the sort of end of the Beatles. It's very subtle, but it basically, if you take here from the drum, so where it says hearts, Heare, and then it's the lies in the floral, and then the yellow flowers at the bottom there, it actually spells here lies Paul. It's very, very subtle, but it was a very cleverly designed album cover to let fans know. So they had like plausible deniability if it was ever sort of figured out what happened.
I don't know. I don't know about this one. Like if you get like, I don't know. Let me get a page of my. I reckon if I was to hold a mirror up in a certain angle on that bit of paper, it would tell me something that I could make. You know, I don't know. It's a stretch for me. John,
that photo where they're crossing the road, well, that pole that was replaced was a lot shorter than the current one. And if you look on that photo where they're crossing that road, the current one, who they replaced the original with, is not wearing any footwear. He's barefoot, which makes him look not as tall as he actually is in relation to the other guys in his band.
In that particular cover that you're talking about there, the last person is it Ringo Starr is the last one. He's wearing all denim. He represents the gravedigger. John Lennon's wearing all white, which represents the religious father or Jesus or whatever you want. Paul McCartney obviously is the dead man walking, and I think the other one was he all in black? I'm not sure, but there's like a symbology attached to all of them. So there's a meaning behind their clothes that they're wearing in that video as well. Also,
I definitely remember that somewhere in this photo, Aleister Crowley. I think he's at the bottom left there. It might be him on the bottom left. And I'm like, what's Aleister Crowley, the Satanist, doing in a Beatles cover? And then I looked into that, and I remember reading up and thinking that these guys were into some weird shit, like some proper weird things. But listen, I don't know. It's the first time hearing about this, but if you have to go if you hold a mirror at 37 degrees, you know, it's sort of like when people do that numerology stuff, and they go, you take any particular number, like you take 911, and you go, well, look, if you add 9 plus 1 and 1, you get 11, and if you times 11 by 911, you get a number that, if you then divisible by 3, becomes 33. And what's 33? 33 is the Illuminati number. I'm like, yeah, but you have to do that. You have to do a lot of calculations to get to it in the first place. And I think if you're looking for 33s or 13s or whatever, you can find it in a lot of places that it might not meant to be. If that makes sense.
Well, Nico also mentioned the 9th of November, so you got 9/11 there.
Exactly. It's like, again, these were artists, you know, they signed non-disclosure agreements, so they weren't allowed to actually come out and say what happened, but this was their way of dealing with the grief, but at the same time letting their millions and millions of fans around the world see something that would tell a story somewhere down the line. So
he's saying, Sean, asked Nikos how the woman survived a horrible fiery crash in one piece and was able to phone the police when Paul was burned and decapitated.
Exactly. So he was actually trapped in the car. So Austin Healey's were very, very small cars. She got out through one of the windows, allegedly. Her name was Rita. I'll get back to this in a minute, actually. Remind me in a second, just before we finish this subject, who Rita actually is now, because people will be familiar with her story these days. She's actually quite a famous person these days. But Rita herself actually got out of the car and she went to get help. And when she'd obviously gone to get help, the car where he was trapped in had exploded, and she was at the scene. So it wasn't that she was trapped as well. She managed to get out of the car. So it was probably to do with maybe the steering wheel. You know, they were very small cars. I don't know if John ever witnessed an Austin Healey, but you know, I did come across a few when I was a bit younger, and they're very small, fragile cars. So let's answer that question. But the person who Rita was, she actually went into witness protection program, and she went under the name of Heather Mills. So you may be familiar with the woman Heather Mills, who was on GMTV. She come out and done a crazy interview a few years.
I'm looking at her now.
You ever see the interview she done on GMTV when she come out? She was like, it's very cryptic, but she was like, if everyone tops me off, there's a box of secrets that'll be released to the press. You know, she was the one that was in the car. So she was the one that was at the scene of the accident. That was her new alias, yeah. But her name wasn't actually.
Hang about, she was born in 1968.
No, yes, it's not true. It's not true.
Well, how old are you saying she is?
I'm saying she's probably a little bit older than what she looks like. But the story, I'm just telling you the story, mate. I'm just telling you the story. But
hang on a second. If she was, how old are we suggesting that she was in the car crash? Like 18?
Yeah, young girl, I guess. Yeah.
So she would have been born in the 40s. No, wait, is that right?
No, but 50s, no.
No, yeah, in the 40s. She'd be about 80 now. Heather Mills is not about 80.
This was in 1966, so she would have had to been about
48. Yeah, 48. She would have been born.
1950s. Anyway, the person they say that is part of the who was in the car is Heather Mills, and they tried to kill her when she actually come out to talk to the press a few years later. They tried to actually kill her MI5 apparently, and she got hit by a car in motorbike in central London. She lost a leg. But there was actually the person who Paul McCartney actually ended up marrying was Linda Eastman. So this is Linda McCartney. She was actually
Heather Mills did marry Paul McCartney in 1999. I married in 2002.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is the story behind this is he was actually already married to Linda McCartney, who was Linda Eastman. She was the photographer of the Beatles for I don't know how many years, but many years, like 20 or 30 years. She done like exclusive photography for the Beatles. She blackmailed Paul McCartney into marrying her, or she was going to tell the story. So basically silence for marriage and help become a singer and musician. So Linda McCartney obviously become a musician and was part of Paul McCartney's life.
Sorry, mate. There's no way that Heather Mills was born in the 40s. No.
Maybe there's holes in the story. Maybe there's holes in the story. But
there's holes in the story, bro.
Let me just finish the story. But anyway, Linda McCartney was obviously married to Paul McCartney, and is it Heather Mills did marry him, right?
Heather Mills married Paul McCartney in 2002.
Yeah. So basically, she blackmailed him. She said, "I want to be with you." She came out of the woodwork after all these years from witness protection, and she said that she wanted to then marry Paul McCartney. So it turned out that she ended up marrying Paul McCartney, and Linda McCartney died. I think that's how that went. I'll look into the facts more about the Rita for next time. But the point of the story is like they went on this really crazy cover-up plan. There's on one of the last albums there's a mystery tour album. One of the last things I'll show you is like on one of the albums it's called the Magical Mystery Tour. It's one with all the stars and all they're dressed as like animals or whatever. John is dressed as the walrus, and Paul has got the hole in the heart to represent no soul. And if you turn the album upside down, it gives you a phone number, which is 5371438. I don't know if you've got the picture there, just to sort of show.
Which one are we talking about? The walrus? This one?
Yeah, this one. Yeah, basically, can you turn it upside down at all? Is that possible?
No.
No, okay. But if you turn that upside down, like read it from right to left, it gives you a phone number, and it's 5371438. And John bought the phone number and forwarded it to a funeral home in London. He bought it from the London Phone Exchange. So again, another clue that was alleged to be on the covers was there was actually a phone number for them to call. And this is MI5 called the phone number, found out what they were doing. And yeah, anyway, long story short is that all of the album covers, they all have clues, and they also invented backward masking into the LPs. Obviously, LP players only went forward back then. They didn't play backwards. But if you rolled them backwards, which is why it was good to have the originals, they actually had lots of hidden messages. They were called, I think John actually coined the term backwards masking. He was the one that actually designed it, I think.
The masking thing, is definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting. There's loads of songs out there, like Stairway to Heaven, I think is one. There's loads and loads and loads of songs out there that do have sort of, you can definitely hear that there's something in it. I'm not sure if all of them are. I think all of them are a little bit of a stretch, but some of them are definitely odd when you hear them go like, and he's the B666. I think that was the one. John, step in here, man. Like, do you know much about the backward masking? I'm sure I've heard some of these songs that have got like some pretty obvious noises in the back that sound like they're devil kind of names.
One of the Beatles songs played backwards actually says Paul is dead. I've heard that.
Yeah,
really.
There's a few. There's Strawberry Fields, which had I Buried Paul. They had Blue Jay Way, which was Please Somebody Get Me Out. Also had Paul is Hare Krishna, it seems. Paul is Hare Krishna, it seems. It was all, you're welcome. But the most famous, the most famous one is "Turn Me On, Dead Man." The most famous one was "Turn Me On, Dead Man." There was a guy. There was actually in the 1960s. Was it 1960s? There was a guy from one of the radio stations, and he actually put all this evidence together, and he told the world. It was 1967. A guy called Russell Gibb. He was a DJ from Detroit. But he actually played it all live on the air, and he turned all the backward masking. He'd figured it all out, and he actually played them simultaneously, one after the other. I don't know if those things still exist on the internet, but someone should compile them all together and put them in like a playlist, you know. But
I don't know. I just think the whole thing's a bit too much of a stretch, to be honest. Mate, I appreciate you telling the story, Nikos. I do, and John, I know you asked him to do it as well. I appreciate the effort, but like for me, I don't really get the benefit. I don't really get the effort, and some of the story doesn't really match up, especially that Heather Mills. If Heather Mills is really 78 years old or whatever, looking like that, I feel like I don't know.
Mate, I don't know.
We'll have to look into strong, you know.
We'll have to look into Heather Mills a little bit, but it's a fascinating story. And like I said,
plus this one, right? This is what Craig's saying here. The guy who happened to replace Paul McCartney turned out to be one of the best songwriters in the world.
They don't write songs. If anyone believes that these people actually sit at their desk writing songs, it's
they have songwriters, ghostwriters.
Sorry,
most of them are ghostwriters.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's so much subliminals in the songs because they're written, you know, as a form of mind control to influence the masses.
Yeah, and actually, John, the most famous songs that Paul McCartney is actually famous for is the ones with the Beatles that he wrote with John Lennon. But when he actually died, he actually left a catalogue with work that was unfinished with John Lennon, and he actually worked very hard in keeping the legacy going. That's why the infamous Lennon-McCartney songs, you know, were so good. But he ran out of songs. So that's why they got to the end of the line very quickly. They found out that they was trying to tell the fans what was going on. They wrapped up, shut up shop. John Lennon moved to America very, very swiftly, and yeah, he got eventually in the 1980s.
They got him.
That album you were talking about, Nikos, that Rubber Soul. I mean, bloody hell, that's a bit of a statement there, isn't it? Like saying his soul's bounced back.
Yeah, they actually done something. They went to India, and they missed him so much. I think it was in 1968. They went to India. They met a guy called Maharishi Menosh Yogi, his name was, and they tried to actually place Paul's soul in William Campbell's body. Like the Paul McCartney we know now, who actually went on this trip as Paul McCartney, he had no idea what they was doing. They just went there. I think Mia Farrow, who was actually just broken up from Frank Sinatra, she was there too as like a publicity thing. So they thought it was like a show thing, but they actually went there with the intentions of trying to get Paul McCartney's soul into this geezer's body, who they'd built to replace him. You know, they give credit to the guy. The guy that done it, he sacrificed his own life to become a Beatle. You know, but you know, he went on to have a successful career with the Wings, and you know, there's quite a lot of tells at the end of the story. You know, in the 1988, the Beatles had an induction to the Hall of Fame. Paul McCartney didn't turn up, or the person who we know as Paul McCartney didn't turn up to the Beatles induction to the Hall of Fame, which is quite a sort of telling.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, we spent 35 minutes on it. I'm not sold on it. To be honest. I appreciate the effort, boys, but let's move on from this one. I'm a little bit up on this. It doesn't interest me that much, to be honest, and I find it a bit of a I don't know. For me, it's not for me. Let's have a little look see at a video. Should we get one of the videos going? But I do appreciate the effort, boys. But well done for the effort on it.
What we got? What we got today on today's recipe?
Let's have a look. So I'm going to pick one at random here. I don't know. I've downloaded them from Instagram. I haven't got the details. Have a look. What's this one?
I shot LiDAR AI photon protein fiber beams at Devil's Tower, and you are not going to believe what is inside it. It changes the whole history of not only America, but the world. Devil's Tower is in Wyoming, and it's a structural edge that's mysterious because I'm an Eagle Scout, and if you look at the rock formation edge, I don't think it's solid, and a lot of people are like, it's solid all the way through. So I, with my friend Dr. Remy Demi, shot the world's best, this is it right here, photon protein fiber beam AI LiDAR technology directly at Devil's Tower, and this is the imagery it gave back. There are chambers inside the base of Devil's Tower with, you can see a passageway right there. Here's another angle of it, of another view. And it's just insane. It's blowing our minds. We don't know if this is a Native American chamber, if it's an alien chamber. So now we're trying to get access to that passageway. We know the door is amongst about right there, but we are trying to get permits so we can dig down and access the door and go into the chambers. I'll keep you updated. Follow me and I'll keep you updated on what we find. We hope to get the permits next week. And I'm just super excited to go in and see what it's all about.
So, first things first, right? I don't know anything about Devil's Tower. No, I haven't seen that before. But that to me looks like a fucking giant tree stump. I swear to, I am so interested in this notion that back in the day, a long time ago, there were trees that would stretch miles into the sky. I don't know if you guys are aware of on that conspiracy. So, by the way, we just broke the new record of concurrent live streams. Come on, everybody. Love to see it. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe.
Just at MI5 login. MI5 just logged in.
Yeah, MI5 are here. Yeah, MI5. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're here to take you away, for the Beatles one. Let me have you, because I think that people say the same thing about the place in South Africa, Flat Top Mountain. There's some place in Scotland up by the coast where they have loads of what looks like giant tree stumps that are all kind of pushed together, and there's definitely a conspiracy. I forget what it is, but there's a conspiracy about giant trees out there. Are you guys familiar with this one?
Yeah. So are we saying that this is a giant tree then?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying that. Look, just have a quick look-see at it. I mean, you can talk about if you know much about this particular one, this particular story.
I shot LiDAR.
That looks like a fucking tree stump to me. Did it not?
Certainly does.
Or am I losing my mind?
A solid structure, like a stone structure. Is that correct? Is that what he's intimating it is? In his
but he's saying it's not. He's saying it's hollow, or it's got something inside it, right? But
yeah, but it could still be stone and hollow, couldn't it? Is that what he's saying? It's a stone structure.
Yeah, I think he's saying. Well, let me have a look. What is Devil's Tower?
Because he's not mentioning it being a tree, is he, at all?
No, he's not saying that. He's not saying that. Definitely not. Devil's Tower is a national monument established in 1906. Devil's Tower made of, what is it made of?
Igneous rock.
Phonolite porphyry and an igneous rock formed with magma. All right, so it's not a tree then. Fuck it. Well, let's deal with this one first.
Yeah, but it could be.
You guys familiar with this one?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
It could be a fossilized tree.
Exactly. There was a big tree. We had a conversation, I think, one of the previous shows. I mentioned that, going back long in history, that there was trees that used to touch the sky. See lots of ancient scriptures that trees touch the sky, but they went on an operation somewhere in history where they cut all the big trees down, and these are just the remnants of the big trees. Ayers Rock, I think, is one in the outback in Australia.
Uluru.
Uluru. Yeah, I think there's a few good examples, but Devil's Tower in Wyoming is actually one of the better examples of actually a big stump that still proceeds out of the earth. It's made of petrified wood and it's easy to hollow out. So that's why there probably could be a chamber inside.
What do you, John? Do you believe in the giant tree the giant tree conspiracy?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of evidence of this throughout all over the planet, pretty much. They just don't look like what we're told they are, and like you say, they do look like giant tree stumps. The structure of them and so on. Getting a little bit further away from this particular subject, have you seen some of the stones? They look like fossilized giants. Like there's one guy and he's got like a huge beard.
Yeah.
Those are just amazing. And some of the rocks that they've cut into, and they look like muscle fibers and fat. It's just looks so much like the physiology of the human body.
Yeah, there's a big one.
Where's that? What have we got to look forward to find that, John?
Let me have a little search, but it would be on YouTube, I presume, about rocks where it's like sinews, muscle, fat. People have cut into them, and it just looks like like a bacon, where they've sliced into bacon. Like you can see the muscle and the fat layers.
This is what I think. That red sea salt that you get. They think that's what that is.
The size is it? Do you reckon that's a real picture? Is that AI? Do you reckon? The last giant silicon tree photograph from 1989. What are we doing here?
When was that posted up?
The size of that.
There are the good thing that gives us credibility. This particular conspiracy is there's big saws. So there's saws that are the size of 50 men, and it used to take 10 men to operate it. So they had to slowly cut these trees down. But there has definitely been big trees here, and it would give credence to the story why there was bigger animals, bigger plants, because there was more oxygen on the earth. But they gradually got rid of the oxygen by taking down the big trees.
Susie's saying, what's the conspiracy, though? I love that. It's not a conspiracy. They're just big trees. But if there were trees that were going up to the sky miles high, like, doesn't that give more weight towards things like the Anunnaki and aliens? It's always aliens, by the way. We know the rule on this channel. It is always aliens, right?
Yeah, the conspiracy of it is that we used to be bigger, we used to live longer, and we used to be healthier. But now we're living at a much lower oxygen rate because they've taken away big trees, the bigger trees. So, making us sicker, to be honest. That's what actually the conspiracy behind it is. If they left the trees alone, we'd all be a lot bigger, a lot healthier, animals bigger, abundance more. People used to dwell under these trees. There used to be civilizations under these big trees. So, it's caused a lot of ripple effects, if you like. Definitely big trees, though. I believe in big trees. They've actually done on Devil's Tower in Wyoming. They've actually done, again, LiDAR tests, and they've actually found like a routing system actually underneath the tower. So with all this new technology, it probably won't be long before we actually can commit to these are big trees. There was one particular example, I can't think off the top of my head, but there's been so many of these trees examined now, and they're finding these routing systems underneath them. A big tree like that would have a big root system,
I'm sure there were absolute monsters in the tree game back in the day. Don't know how far back we have to go. Let's say let's have a little look see at what's this one about? Something about Donald Trump here. Have a look at this one. I think this one's quite recent. This might be a bit of an interesting one.
Hold on a second. Trump did what to Clinton? If you're not aware, we have a massive Epstein files update. On November 12, 2025, the House Oversight Committee dropped over 20,000 pages of Jeffrey Epstein's emails. And one from his brother Mark in 2018 has the internet buzzing. It mentions Trump, Clinton, and Putin in one of the weirdest ways that you could imagine. The email that I'm referring to, it was a message from Mark Epstein to Jeffrey Epstein. And here's the email verbatim. Mark to Jeffrey. How are you doing? A while back you mentioned you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now? Jeffrey to Mark. All good. Bannon is with me. Referring to Steve Bannon. Mark, back to Jeffrey. Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Now who's Bubba? Bubba is widely known as Bill Clinton's nickname. Jeffrey to Mark. And I thought I had myseries, which is Yiddish for problems. So Jeffrey's saying, and I thought I had problem. This is released by the United States government. Now we know why Donald did not want these emails to come out. And of course, we have Donald Trump coming out on Truth Social saying, oh, it's all a Democratic hoax. At this point, that's the only hand he has to play, because there's reference to him potentially being blackmailed by Putin and by Jeffrey himself with information, who knows, it's all alleged, off Bubba. Blackmail's running rampant in the United States government, and these people are going to get exposed. We want the full files. We want the full knowledge. I don't care how heinous and dark it is. We need to see, because now we're sending $4 billion extra per year, and it's all because of this blackmail.
Oh, please tell me this. I don't know if I want this to be true or not. I don't know if I want this to be true or not. Donald Trump noshing off Bill Clinton.
They were close
Why?
friends. The Clintons and the Trump, they were very close friends. I could see it both ways. I've never been a big believer either way of him. I know some people are very cultish with him, but I could actually see it both ways. I'm not sure.
Yeah, look, I mean, for me, I know that like Israel's got like, you know, bad information that on everybody in the politics game. For sure, that Hunter Biden laptop thing was like the first insight for a lot of people that were waking up and they were like, well, what's on there? I remember even Fox News, what's his name? Not Tucker Carlson. The other guy's on there is the dark-haired fella who's you know, quite a younger sort of presenter on Fox News, was saying like he's seen what's on the and Rudy Giuliani was saying, I've seen what's on that laptop. We can't show what's on that laptop because we would be put in prison for having, you know, for essentially spreading child porn, if you know what I mean. And the rumors that were going around got even weirder. That Hunter Biden was sent on a plane to China, and he had to compromise himself in order to make sure that the Chinese, and he'd got, him and his family got paid several millions of dollars or whatever, allegedly, to do this. But at the same time, Hunter Biden had to essentially like have do terrible things with some young Chinese girl, and then also like beat her up like in a really bad way. And it was all caught on camera. The Bidens got their money allegedly, but it was a way that they could compromise the family that were in charge. I mean, it's just one big dirty kind of scandal, isn't it, in politics? Everybody's got something on everybody, and then everybody's complicit. Listen, you don't want what we know about you to come out, and the other people are like, yeah, you don't want what I know about you to come out. So can we all just shake hands and do this weird whatever thing where you know, everybody's in the side, like we've all got to have something on each other so that we all know that we can trust one another. It's a really weird fucking way to behave, isn't it?
They're all part of secret societies, so that, you know, the image they give off is not really what it's like about behind the scenes. They're all part of different societies, you know, so they're all brothers, you know, in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, you don't get to rise to those positions of power without being one of them. You just don't. So that's always been in the back of my mind about Donald Trump, you know.
Yeah. What are you saying, Johnny boy?
I still think all this Epstein thing is another distraction. It's all theatre, smoke and mirrors. They're all actors. They're all friends with each other. It's all a game, just distract you from the latest thing. Don't believe any of it. They're all just actors in the on the stage. I've known people that have worked in a House of Parliament, a House of Lords, and they say, you know, that once the cameras are gone, they're all drinking with each other and playing side football together. They're all best mates.
Yeah.
Don't believe in any of it. They're actors, probably all in masks anyway. They take them off before they leave the buildings and the cameras, and then that's it. It stops filming, and you don't know who the hell they are. That's why they look different half the time when you look at them and you think, oh, okay, Trump looks a bit different than he did 6 months ago. Joe Biden looks different every time he walks out of the White House. And
different earlobes. Different earlobe. The earlobe gave it away for me when I saw that. There was a picture of when he was in like back in the 90s and noughties when he was a bit younger, but he was like he was bigger, fuller bodied and stuff. But I can get on board the fact that when you get towards your late 80s or whatever, you're going to shrink a little bit. But he went from being like an aggressive, sort of nasty piece of work to this weak, meek old man. I was all right. Maybe you get into the end, you're losing your marbles, whatever. But then I saw the earlobes, like, because I've got earlobes that I've got the dangly bit on the earlobes, right? But some people don't. Some people just have it that goes straight, attaches straight to your thing. Old Biden had straight attached to his chin. Later Biden had the dangly bit like me, you know. So
have you ever
no one's changing their earlobes under plastic surgery. Why would you do that? Nothing wrong with an earlobe.
Have you ever gone down the rabbit hole of who plays these people? Like, I agree with what John said there. I think a lot of these politicians are actually actors. You know, the saying is, to have the greatest movie, you need the greatest actors. Like, I went down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out who like Joe Biden was, and like Jim Carrey actually comes up a lot, believe it or not.
Jim Carrey
was one of the original Bidens.
As in the films, doesn't he? That he played roles falling upstairs and things like that.
Jim Carrey plays what is it like? He puts a mask on and he.
Exactly. Yeah, he done a movie called The Mask. You're probably familiar with it.
Really? That's hilarious.
Yeah, but he was very theatrical in a lot of the movies that he made, and one of the early Bidens was alleged to be Jim Carrey. And if you remember, Jim Carrey had this huge disdain for Donald Trump as well. Like, he's quite public with it, but he was he was one of the grandmasters in Hollywood of Freemasonry. So he's one of the.
He lost his mind a little bit, didn't he, Jim Carrey? I remember seeing those videos when he started doing painting. He got all like eclectic and ethereal and weird and stuff, and he like disappeared from the spotlight. And then one day he just rocked up to like a red carpet event, and then he was interviewed. And the woman was like, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't know. I couldn't think of anything more possibly stupid than this." And she was like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, so he was saying like we're dust in the wind or something. He was like all particles passing through the air, or it was something. You brought it up there actually. Jim Carrey used to do the paintings. Remember we spoke last week, I think, with Eugene about these people that do artwork and they sell it for huge amounts of money to launder money. Jim Carrey did that a lot as well.
And there's two other actors apparently that play the Biden role. One of them is Dana Carvey, and the other one is a guy called Struan Rogers.
Wait. Okay. Spell the name. Dana, D-A-N-A.
Struan, and then it's Roger, R-O-D-G-E-R.
Struan Roger.
Yeah, and Dana Carvey, you know, Party On.
Oh my God, he looks just like Joe Biden.
The one from Wayne's World. The one from Wayne's World.
Joe Biden.
Wait. You can see it.
Yeah, him.
You can definitely see a bit of Biden in him.
He looks more like Joe Biden than the original Joe Biden does. Like the current Joe Biden. He's one of them.
Yeah. Wow.
And the other one was Garth from Wayne's World. Wayne's World. Yeah, that guy with the glasses. Garth with the glasses. Yeah. He was one as well. Yeah.
Well, I've got to see if there's every time I search for anything, I get these. Here we go. Look, two different. Perfect. Sorry, for those of you who are like, what are these guys talking about? Look at the earlobe of Joe Biden there, right? That is attached. That's attached to his neck, and then Joe Biden over here, he's got an earlobe like me.
Have you seen the one where his chin moves? Have you seen the video where his chin moves? The bumps on his chin.
Yeah. He's got different chin as well, isn't he? Different chin.
Yeah, he moves around. John's right. I think
a bit, Sean.
What's that?
Yeah, that one in the middle. Look, that one.
This
there.
one.
Yeah, look at the eyes. Look where you can see the mask around the eyes.
Yeah, that looks like the Garth guy from Wayne's World. That looks like
that's not Strain Roger. That's the other one.
Yeah. There was, again,
that one on the left. Look, the original Joe Biden.
This guy, this guy. That's the original Joe Biden for sure.
That is nothing. That's not the same man. No way.
Nah, 100% different guy. Look at that. These not the same people. What are we doing here? Oh, look, I'm sure Vladimir Putin's probably got a couple of a few doppelgangers. I'm sure they all have. I remember hearing a story back in the day about Saddam Hussein. And his son, whatever his son's name was, something else Hussein. Was it like Remy Hussein or something? Who was known for being like particularly brutal with torture for people that he didn't like or whatever.
Oh, and was that on the film, the one with Dominic Cooper, where he played his double?
Yeah, yeah, and the body double basically just was taken off the street and said, "Oh, you're going to have a new life now. You're going to be a body double for Hussein." But in order to sort of desensitize him, they made him sit down and watch like hours and hours and hours and hours of people being tortured that had done nothing wrong other than they were just taken off the street and tortured to death in the most horrendous way, just for the sole purpose so that he would get used to seeing people get tortured, so that in a future world, a future environment where he was in a certain party or whatever, and that sort of shit happened, that he wasn't going to be shocked or sort of give the game away that he wasn't the real version of the Hussein son. Proper weird, proper horrible. But yeah. So I'm sure body doubles and that are a commonplace. But yeah, anyone telling me that those Biden boys are the same. Uday Hussein, that's it, Ken. Uday Hussein.
Uday, yeah. That was a really good film, actually, that Dominic Cooper film. There's a video 9 years ago, the Wall Street Journal on YouTube, and a guy, former Republican presidential candidate, Ben Carson, he says there are two Donald Trumps.
The Black Doctor.
No, you're thinking of that guy, aren't you? Dr. Sabi. Is that who you're thinking of?
I'm sure the Dr. Ben, he was Dr. Ben Carson. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sorry. Yes, this is the one that I'm watching that video now.
This geezer.
That's
that
it.
what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a presidential candidate for a moment until Trump buried him on something. He's a Freemason.
The Devil's Double. That was the film with Dominic Cooper.
Was it?
Yeah, really good film.
Horrible.
Actually.
Yeah,
definitely worth a watch.
All right, let's pivot to another random one, shall we? Let's have a look. See, so I've done the one about Trump. I haven't I? Yeah, let's get rid of that. Let's delete that from the list. Let's have a look at this one, shall we?
So they coming up with a new prison that allows inmates to serve years of their sentence in just a matter of minutes. So the criminals is going to have a choice to spend tens of years behind bars, or they can make the choice to get the artificial memory implanted into their brain. So this process is called Cognify, and the intent of it is to treat the criminal like a patient.
There's a new system out there. They're talking about the prison of the future, folks. It's a company called Cognify. Take a look at this video, right? Because you've never seen anything like this. It's a new concept that it rehabilitates artificial memories. But the thing is, I think your actual prison sentence is really short, but they kind of erase your brain. You down with that one?
They're going to try to change the person's brain chemistry. After this process, when they re-enter society, they will be new and reformed, and they won't even be capable of committing any other crime. The chip can make the patient feel empathetic. Depending on the severity of the crime, the chip can also make you feel the emotional and physical pain of the victim and the family members. You can feel what they felt. So the process only takes about 7 minutes. But to the patient, it seemed like it had been years. Last year, the U.S. government spent $8.7 billion taxpayers' dollars on the prison. They say with this new prison, they can save money.
Yeah, that's one. Do you guys? I'm sure you guys have all seen Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Black Mirror one where there's a couple of different episodes? One of them is where the guy is caught in. He's in like a winter cabin, and he can't leave the cabin. And then some other guy comes in and he's trying to get him to confess to a crime, but it's all happening. It's like a dream in his head, and it's some sort of technology based on the future of where the guy's caught in there for years. But there's also another episode which is even more sick. Like I watched it stoned one night, like years ago when I used to smoke marijuana. I used to go into my own little weird world of imagining the consequences of these sort of ideas, and it freaked me out. Where they could basically put that little chip on your head here, and then you would get sucked into like an artificial intelligent world, but in your mind it's all real, and you're caught in there, and like they can just basically they can set how long a real Earth minute represents inside the prison for people that have done wrong. Have you seen that episode before? It's fucked up. But like I guess this is something kind of similar, right? Like they put a chip in your brain, and then you're living the pain of whatever you've done. I mean, if this is something that's really happening or potentially really happening in the next decade, like they're going to use the prisoners as the pilots, as the monkeys, right? As the whatever they call them, guinea pigs.
Exactly. I don't know if I ever mentioned it on one of the shows before, but I've had a million jobs. One of them was actually a prison officer. In the late 1990s, I was actually a prison officer, and an inmate will do anything to get out of prison early. Anything. Like, they have that very low IQs generally, and you could convince a large crowd of people in a prison to take something in their brain to get out early. They're not conscious like that, you know. Someone actually mentioned as well in one of the comment section. There's like, I wonder how Nick met the devil. Like I think I said before in one of the shows, I met the devil face to face. Like I actually met him in prison. There was a murderer called Michael Stone. I don't know if you remember the story from the late 1990s. He killed a mum, a daughter, and tried to kill another daughter and their dog. But one of the daughters survived. I think it was called the Russell family. Lynn Russell, Megan Russell, and something else. But yeah, I remember having this guy come on remand. I was like 17 years old or something. I was like only in there because my dad worked in there, you know. And I basically had the keys to all the doors. And like this guy, he walked through the prison, mate, like complete, like stuck, I've never seen eyes like it, you know. There's what's that movie called? There's a movie like,
or just completely unempathetic, just completely
mate, there's nothing behind the eyes. There's nothing behind the eyes. Like you can say anything, mate, and you just know at any opportunity, mate, they're just gonna do whatever they need to do to get out, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mate.
Sorry, have you never seen Black Mirror, Nikos?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Mate, have you seen it, John?
Let me go white boy.
Dude, you have to watch Black Mirror, mate. If you like, you have got an unbelievable. There's like, I don't know how many episodes there are of it now, mate. There was probably like 10 episodes for like 3 different seasons, and then I think they've made some more. The guy who made it was a guy called Charlie Brooker or Charlie Booker. That geezer is tapped into some sort of next level mushrooms or smokes the best weed to come up with the stories, the ideas that he did. Nikos, how you haven't seen Black Mirror, mate? Please, have you got a Netflix subscription?
Nah, mate, I've got IPTV. I've got everything. I've got every channel in the world. And
search for Black Mirror, mate, and go. I can't believe you haven't seen it. That's your homework for this week, mate. By Friday.
Have you ever seen the Twilight Zone? Have you seen the Twilight Zone?
Yeah. The Twilight Zone.
Tales of the Unexpected. We're going back a bit now with those two.
The Twilight Zone, Tales from the Unexpected. Yeah, that's like back in the 80s, isn't it?
Yeah,
that was like...
It's like those two, but like a modern day version, you know, with things like AI, the internet, social media. You know, like people actually get like, before all this woke cancel culture came in, there was episodes like where a guy, he was like stalking this girl and he actually got cancelled. So wherever he went, no one could see him. He was like blurred out. You know,
That was a Black Mirror episode, wasn't it?
Pardon?
That was a Black Mirror episode as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was John Hamm, wasn't it? You know, he was in Mad Men. Who was Don?
Yeah. That's it. 100%. Yeah. That was a fucking great episode because he was harassing women or something. It was before the woke thing, wasn't it? But as soon as someone accused you of something, as soon as someone accused you of being sleazy, they could like block you in real life. So it was taking the idea of being blocked on social media, but making it real. And as soon as you committed X amount of crimes, everybody could block you. And then basically you were left alone in the world because wherever you went, you'd be around people, but you wouldn't see who they were. You couldn't interact with them, just like you're being blocked on social media. Fucking amazing episode, Johnny Boy. Amazing episode. Such a good idea as well.
And that was before all this like cancel culture came in as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. That was so ahead of its time, that episode. So ahead of its time. Mate, Nikos.
I've got it written down. I'm going to watch it this week. I promise you. I'll look into it.
You have to. I'm gonna watch it as well, so I can refresh myself on that whole episode. That fucking season was the best ever. Such a good show.
I'll give you my opinion on it next time we do a show. I'll have a little look into it. See what I think.
Yeah, nice.
I sent you the Dick Gregory interview when he says they're two Donald Trumps. One's got a red tie and the other one's got a blue tie.
Who is Dick Gregory?
Oh, he was running for president. I think it was in the 60s. And apparently he said he was like up in the polls and then suddenly it just went like that, went the other way. And Eugene in the
Eugene, nice to see you, sir.
Hey, good to see you. I had to come on while my toddler is sleeping. If he wakes up, if I bounce all of a sudden, but I just had to come on.
I can't hear him.
I miss you guys. This is a part of me now. If I don't, if I don't talk to you, I feel empty inside. So I had to come in.
It's any consolation. I actually was thinking about you over the weekend as well, Eugene. Oh. I saw a David Icke episode on London Real with Brian Rose, and as soon as
I haven't seen that yet. Was it good?
It was really good.
Yeah,
you know how I feel about Elon Musk generally, but David Icke does not like Elon Musk. Is what I got from that.
No, he doesn't
at all. But some of the things he said, I was like, wow.
David Icke does come across a little bit as he's a little bit. I feel like he's resentful of Alex Jones because Alex Jones made a fortune. I feel like there's a little bit of resentment that David Icke was one of the first guys to be pushing the narrative on some of these things, but then because other people blew up more than he did because they were a little bit more, I don't know, like, on the ball when it comes to how to monetize or whatever, then they get a lot of the credit or the criticism that David Icke seems to somewhat escape from. But yeah, David Icke always seems a little bit resentful of people that have made a bit of money.
Yeah, he knows too much though. He told me a lot about Elon Musk I did not know, and I already knew a lot, but he told me a lot of stuff. He was talking about his grandfather's company was Technocracy Inc. It created the Technate of America. It was basically a program to create society with no politicians, no elections, and appointed bureaucrats, and how they was going to go about dominating the world. Honestly, mate, it's fascinating. But David Icke, yeah, he smashed it. He was a really good show.
You know what, though? That Elon Musk's dad, Elon Musk's dad, isn't he going out with, or like, doesn't he have children from Elon Musk's brother's wife or cousin or something? I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of like weird, somewhat some would call kind of somewhat incestuous stuff with Elon. I'm going to check it out before I get it wrong, but I'm going to say allegedly for now, but I'm sure there's something in it. Elon Musk's granddad or Elon Musk's dad or something. Let's have a look.
Hey, genius works in mysterious ways. You do not question genius.
Stepdaughter, that's it. Elon Musk's dad has got 2 kids with his stepdaughter. And so Elon Musk's dad was married to this woman, and the woman had a child, right? And it was a girl. She was a young girl when, like a child, when the mum and dad were going out. And then I think the mum died, and now he's got kids with her daughter. Like,
this is common. This is common in these powerful families, that they don't procreate outside. I've covered it before.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit creepy, though, isn't it? Like, at what point in the daddy stepdaughter relationship did he start to look at her and think?
Yeah. If you're one of the richest people on the planet, you can have pretty much anything you like, and you're like, oh, I want her.
No, this is Elon Musk's dad, and this happened before Musk was like a billionaire. This is like,
mate, no, that family have been rich for long before Musk. That family, yeah, that's what people don't realize. They all think that's like he's self-made. He's not. His grandfather was Dr. Joshua Heinemann. That was his grandfather. He was a big advocate for Adolf Hitler in Nazi Germany. That family has moved around a lot, and he just happened to be born in South Africa. So the story of Elon Musk goes back to South Africa, but yeah, they've had money for generations.
He's in the diamond game, was he? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, they were a rich family, mining diamonds. Yeah.
Should we go back to the vault of Instagram?
Let's see what they got for us.
Yeah. We have another one. All right, let's go.
Okay, if you're at all like mentally unstable or fragile, don't watch this one. So I've made a lot of videos about organoid intelligence in the past. That's where you take human brain cells and grow them in a petri dish and then use a computer to train them just like AI. They're actually more powerful than AI in that they learn quicker and are more energy efficient, but there are huge ethical concerns with them because they have similar brain activity to a premature baby. And there's a lot of people out there that object to these because there's a decent amount of evidence that they're conscious, just like a person. I recently posted a company called Final Spark, and they actually have something called Neural Platform where you can rent out essentially server space on these organoid brains, so you can pay for them to do things for you. This is a live stream of the organoid brain computers that you can rent out, but there's something way more concerning on their website, and that's this simulation which the brains are fed sensory data from, so that they can feel everything the butterfly feels and control it to like fly around. The reason why that's terrifying is there's a good chance the brains, if they are conscious, just believe they are that butterfly. Because when they're not in use by someone purchasing their computational power, they just fly around and exist in that simulation. And you probably already see where I'm going with this, but if this is possible, you could make a pretty good case that we are just organoid brains somewhere, and this is the simulation that we're in. And maybe like when you daydream or just fall asleep, that's someone using your consciousness to do something else. I don't know, but crazy to think about. Crazy times.
Yeah, and this fucking thing is legit. Look. Instant access to human neurons. Get instant access to Final Spark Neuro platform and run your remote biocomputing research from your own desk. I mean, what the fuck? Programming API for Python. This is all a little bit, this is dark, isn't it?
Wait, but what does this have to do with human brain cells? Like, I'm not following.
It's the art of control. You can control the brain. You control people's emotions. What they do.
But the
how
guy
they
was
act.
saying he grows some cells in the petri dish. Like, that's crazy. What is this?
Yeah.
I'm not following. Is this what they do?
Is this some sort of type of cloning? Is that what they're trying to do there? Like some sort of type of cloning?
Here's a chance to see our biochips working in real time. Each chart represents a single biochip with the one neurosphere within a multi-electrode array. The numbers on the top left are the electrode numbers in a single biochip. The electrophysiological signals on the right show the live neuronal activity of the neurosphere. That fucking thing just moved. That red thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand. Something's going on here.
Yeah, but this is different than growing brain cells in a petri dish, and like, unless
Go back to the bottom. Is that in Switzerland?
Yeah, it's in Switzerland. Yeah,
I mean, that wouldn't be legal, I'm assuming. But
do whatever the fuck they want in Switzerland, can't they?
well, that's true, Switzerland. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but I think what they're saying is that using AI,
How far is that from CERN? How far is that from CERN? Do you reckon?
Probably not far. Do we know about CERN? Do we think that they're trying to open up portals to let demons in and shit?
Something like this, I would think. I think there's something going on there. Something underneath the earth that happens there.
Have you seen that video of some geezer that was staying at CERN, and he's in one of the cottages there or something, and he got his camera out and he recorded, and that out where they have the outside the front, or like in the front porch or whatever of CERN's headquarters, they have a statue of the Hindu goddess that's in chart, the Hindu goddess of chaos or whatever it is.
Shiva.
The one like what's her name?
Shiva. You know, with the arms and the swords.
Yeah, so they got like a statue of that, and they recorded some geezers coming out doing some like ceremonial cult sacrificial ritual, and then they like slit the throat of someone in front of Shiva. I'm gonna find the video. Look at Eugene. He's already distancing himself from it. He's already giving me the eyes. He's already saying, "I've got nothing to do with this."
He's really back.
Hey, I love CERN.
They did the dance of Shiva, didn't they? They did loads of ritualistic Shiva, all this stuff. A bit like the TikTok nurses doing their dancing, but it was for CERN. They had big group ritual stuff going on. They love it.
Look at this, right? This is outside the front of CERN, and these are people in their offices, and there's someone who's recording this. Right? There's people coming up overnight, and they're doing some fucking weird like ritual. And there's a woman.
So wait, are you saying that these are the scientists who work at CERN?
I don't know what it is.
Wow.
But like someone was secretly recording this.
I mean, do we know that it's not a prank, that whoever recorded this wasn't in cahoots with these people just to make a video?
I don't know anything, mate.
I'm just
You're
asking
open-minded
questions.
here. But what the like? Why would they do
It's crazy.
I mean, at CERN, right? That's legit CERN's front.
Yeah.
First of all, why does CERN even have Shiva shit at the front of it anyway? But like, even if it is just like a bit of a ritual thing, why are scientists at CERN fucking around with pranks?
Wait,
And
is
if you're
that
going to do a prank, why do that one? Why not just do some like knockdown ginger or like I don't know, like whatever?
is
This
that
is
a
ludicrous. Isn't it?
Neil deGrasse Tyson there in a cloak?
Neil my ass Tyson.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Well, like, what? Why? Like, even
that's
if it is
crazy.
staged, why would they do it at CERN? Like, get on with fucking figuring out the speed of light bullshit. Get on with doing whatever you're doing. Why are you doing this crap? It's just so weird and random. If it's fake, if it's real, I don't know. And we're open minded on this channel. Someone
To
let
get,
us know. I mean,
to get anywhere near the front gates of CERN, I think it's completely secured, like around the edges with armed guards, and you need security clearances to get anywhere near the front door. So if that was a real video, that's somebody that's easily traceable with security clearance to the front entrance of CERN. So it's a very low possibility that would be a fake video, I would think.
But who would be filming it? Why would like another scientist be filming? Like,
Exactly.
yeah, like
He'd risk his job and probably
yeah, I don't
more.
buy it. Looks fake to me, but it'd be cool if it was real. It'd be really cool if it was real. And I'm not gonna lie, I would be a part of it in a second. That just looks so much fun.
I think he stabs her there. Look, stabs her in the throat.
Come on.
Yeah, these are rituals. These are rituals.
Ah, look at it again. How do I? Oh, hang on. Look. He's got a knife in his hand, right? You can see it just glimmer a little bit. It's a little tiny little knife. You can see it there,
Yeah.
glimmer. Now look, he puts it to his throat and punctures it. Look, bosh, bang. And then the guy who's filming it gets terrified and puts his phone down. I'm not saying it's real, but I'm definitely saying it's a weird fucking fake.
Why would you make videos like that? You know, of all the things you can make videos of, you're gonna make a video like that? Come on.
I mean,
It's
people
do
different things, do crazy shit, but
That's
I've
definitely certain. That picture, that statue of Shiva, 100%. Look at it again. Just bop. It's not even that theatrical or dramatic. If you were going to make it, if you were going to do something a little bit more like razzmatazz for a prank video, you'd put out like a big knife and you'd do it something like a bit more dramatic. That one's just like a little stab, isn't it? You know, sort of thing you see down Tottenham High Road on a Thursday night after the football.
Remember the beheadings they used to do? Remember the beheadings they used to do to scare people into all the Middle East wars and stuff? All the beheading videos of Al Qaeda or whatever it was. They were all fake.
I don't know.
What was all fake?
Remember they used to do the beheading videos in like the 1990s, early 2000s. There was lots of videos on the internet, you know, when on the news, like, you know, to push the war narrative in the Middle East. You know, there was people being taken hostage and beheaded on camera, and they would show it with like graphic, proof on the news and stuff. Yeah, they were all fake.
They were all fake.
I mean, there were some American hostages, like some guy.
There was definitely beheadings.
Was beheaded and his family came out.
2001. Yeah, there was loads of beheadings.
I'm talking about the examples that they showed on the news. The examples that they pushed on the news to pull the narrative in a particular direction. They was actually all theatrical. It was a show to help the public get on side with the warmongering that was happening, which makes sense. I'm not saying people haven't been beheaded before. I'm just saying that the ones that were particularly common in the late 90s, early 2000s to push the war narrative in the Middle East.
What's this you sent me, John?
That is one of the dance rituals they were doing at CERN.
Is this the opening of that train railway where it all looks really fucking weird and they've got like a giant like. Yeah, this is odd. This is weird as well. I remember seeing all the politicians that were sat there watching, kind of going, "What are we doing here? What's going on?"
This
is like a YMCA band where they dress up as different characters.
Yeah, look, if I push it forward a little bit, watch this, because there's some I'm sure there's some like goated demons or something that's represented in this theatre. It's all very strange.
That's all like fallen angel symbology, isn't it? Where they're falling down that. that mock-up of a wall.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
There you go. What the fuck's this about?
Those damn Swiss.
She's fit. That's Helga.
That's not Helga.
Oh.
Volga.
Why would they have that?
Yeah, these are rituals. These are rituals.
Definitely
Wait.
ritualistic.
No.
Was that the guy from January
That's supposed to be a bug, like a virus.
No, that's scarab beetles, isn't it?
Beatles.
Yeah, that's scarab beetles. That's Egyptian symbology.
Is the one eye? Eye. Yeah, these motherfuckers are into some weird shit. 100%.
Baphomet. Do you know that actually means bathed in math? That's a numerology symbol. The Baphomet. That's all about maths and numerology.
What is the
Baphomet? It means bathed in maths, meaning like it's all about numbers and numerology.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
That's where the name comes from.
It's proper weird, this, isn't it? For like opening a new railway.
Yeah, this is a little bit excessive. Yeah, cut the ribbon. Off we go.
Just get out the big scissors and cut the ribbon. What's all this about? It's just a fucking railway station. What are you doing here? Very
That's
strange.
hilarious.
Is
That's
this
awesome.
a performance for the enlightened, the people that have been in the societies? Is this a show to show them that this is for us? You know, is that what that is?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. It's not the only thing that's been. I mean, all the Super Bowl halftime shows are very ritualistic, aren't they?
Well, the Olympics
there's always the
ceremony.
blood red symbolism and that, and like Madonna's always got like Baphomet on her clothes and shit. It's very much loads of like, because that's the phrase, isn't it? Energy, attention flows where energy goes, or something, or energy goes where attention flows. So basically, any big event, any huge event that has like billions of eyeballs on it, they usually turn it into some ritual if they can, so that the energy goes towards that dark force.
Are you familiar with the 2012 Olympics in London? The opening ceremony and closing ceremonies. They were very ritualistic. They predicted the COVID events. You know?
Well, the last one too in France, they did this whole like weird Last Supper thing with like weird.
Oh yeah, and the horseman, white horse along the water.
Yeah, it was.
They tell
I think
us
it's weird art. I don't get it. I don't know. Next time Spurs score an open goal or a goal from open play, we should do a little, celebration.
We do our rain dance. We do our rain dance.
I'm having it.
Y'all gotta dress up as, the YMCA band members, and
club sports.
Yeah.
Should we have a look at this one? Look at this video. This is from Dominic Cummings, right? Who's like a really important advisor in the Boris Johnson government, hated by everybody because he's a bit of a dark person. But he said this.
Right, I just want people to give this clip a little listen to, because this isn't like some fringe conspiracy theorist. This is Dominic Cummings, who was the chief advisor to Boris Johnson when he was Prime Minister.
For a very long time, the government has not controlled the government. This is the first thing that needs to change. Pitt had real meetings in number 10 Downing Street, not the fake scripted meetings now, where the conclusions are written by officials before the meeting ever happens. That's not a parody from Westminster. That is actually the process for how modern government works. The big battle in Whitehall over power is not what people say in meetings, which are largely fake and irrelevant. The battle for power in Whitehall is about who gets to write the conclusions of what the Prime Minister says before the meeting ever starts.
And I just want to make clear, this is not the only person saying this. Liz Truss, who was the former Prime Minister for the Conservative Party, who I feel was treated really, really unfairly, she has come out and made very clear that politicians have almost no power and that everything is with the civil service. She actually did go against the advice, which was when the entire media and the Bank of England turned on her to make it look like she'd crashed the economy, and I don't think she did. And she says that she was threatened, and then she was forced to step down because she would not toe the line. So this is the problem in the UK politics. It's nothing, at the moment, it's nothing to do with who you vote in, because they are just a puppet. This is why whoever we vote in next must be prepared to take apart the entire government system, get rid of 90% of the civil servants, and start from scratch.
That's not going to happen, is it?
Was that John?
I said that's not going to bloody happen, is it?
Never going to happen.
He said at the end, it's like,
When Fabian Society owned 90% of politicians. Like, it doesn't matter which one you pick, you can get the same result. You know, if anyone's going through a midlife crisis, though, it was that geezer there. Looks like an absolute sex offender.
Which one, Dominic Cummings or the guy who was talking?
Well,
it couldn't look much
Dominic Cummings. Yeah, I remember he was the guy that was coming out of all the crazy science laws and science this and science said this, and I remember like he's public enemy #1, but he's kind of stepped back and become a cool dude in his 60s, or whatever. Like, leave off. Like, you should be the first one in the stock, you know.
Yeah.
Have you guys?
Yeah, I don't think it matters, does it really? Like whoever you get, it's the same with the WEF, the World Economic Forum. Well, I remember Klaus Schwab saying that we have infiltrated every Western democracy.
Yep.
They've got something called the young leaders of the WEF, and they basically go out and find, you know, the top politicians, the top kids in every top university, whatever, Oxford, Cambridge, Warwick, whatever else, and then they basically like bring them under their wing, and so. It doesn't matter which. It doesn't matter. Like I remember in Britain, you had on the right, you got Keir Starmer, and about four of his cabinet were all members of the young WEF, and so was
Matt Hancock.
So was Matt Hancock. So was the Indian Prime Minister. I forget his name. The Indian guy. What's the guy? Who was the Conservative Prime Minister that had Indian background?
Rishi Sunak.
Rishi Sunak, yeah, he was part of the young WEF. It doesn't matter. And it's the same in Germany, it's the same in Hungary, it's the same in Poland, same in France. It doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who you pick, doesn't matter who you vote for. They're all in on it. You know,
yeah, your vote doesn't actually count. And even if it did count, you'd end up with somebody who just looks a little bit different than the last guy. So you're gonna get their narrative. Unfortunately, we're heading down a one-way street to whatever it is they want us to head to, you know, and it's been that way for a long time.
Guys, I remember nearly 30 years ago, these people were putting leaflets through doors, and I heard my letterbox like rattle, and I went out there. I thought, "What's that?" And there was this leaflet there, and I quickly opened the door, and there was these two men just walking away. And I said, "Oh, what's all this about?" And they said, "Oh, we're canvassing." I said, "I don't really vote, not interested in it. I think you're all, you know, in with each other. You're all selected and blah blah blah." And he said, "Funny you should say that." He said, I'm the BNP candidate." He said, "And at one of the local conferences, when everything closed and all the public left, all of the others approached me to go and work with them, Conservatives, Liberal Democrats, Labour."
That's what he said to you?
Yeah, he said, because I was really popular. I can speak well. I've got charisma when I'm speaking publicly. And people were coming over and talking to me and asking me, like, and saying, we didn't realise, you know, some of the things, you know, some of the what's it called, like policies and so on, because you know it's always bad press about BNP this and that, but they didn't realise what work you're doing behind the scenes. So he said, because I was very popular with the public that were there, all of the other party like recruiters were trying to get me in with them. And he said, who knows what I'd be doing if I was in with them. He said, obviously I'd have to toe the line and follow their policies, their principles. But he said they all approached me. And I thought that's pretty ironic, because I said, like, I don't believe in it. I think it's all a scam. And then he's openly admitted they all tried to recruit him.
They'll send him to Epstein's Island. If he gets in there, they'll send him to Epstein.
But they didn't care that he was actually BNP. But like when the cameras are rolling, they'd be saying, "Oh, you know, he's racist. He's this and that. He, you know, he's all these things that are wrong about, you know, certain people in society." Yet when it all closed down and all the public went, they wanted to get him on board because they saw how charismatic he was.
Yeah.
You know, what does that tell you? He's admitting that to me openly. Like, he didn't need to say it, but it's because I said I think it's all bullshit. Because probably no one has actually said that to him when he was doing his rounds. Probably everyone said like, "Oh yeah, I'll vote for you," or "No, go f off." Like, I hate you lot. You're racist or whatever. But because I'd actually said I question it, I think they don't count votes. It's all selected, not elected. And he went, "Oh, funny you should say that."
Yeah.
So he was learning about the system through that experience.
Yeah, it depends what you believe about elections, but I don't think that since they've had electronic voting systems for the last like 20 years, I think they can change results. Like, I think there was quite a obvious example in the 2016 election in America.
Oh, it was absolutely rigged. American elections are rigged. 100% they're rigged.
Absolutely. I mean, again, I don't have any opinion either way on who or what went, you know, but it was obvious where the public vote went. It was obvious where the votes went. Like, it was obvious just by surveying the people and support for one or the other. You could just tell who won. You know, it was obvious.
Yeah.
But that was all part of design as well, though. That, showing that, the corruption there, was all part of the design.
To see people fight back.
Yeah, well, I think it also, like, 100%, like, just let them have a little bit, let them eat cake, let them think that there's the kind of, at least the illusion of some sort of democratic process, illusion of a fight back. But obviously the problem with, like, Donald Trump wasn't supposed to win 2012, right? Yeah. He wasn't supposed to. Was it 2012 or 2016? 2016. He wasn't supposed to win, right? And I think that he just, like, they probably not quite factored in how much vote rigging they would need to do in order to make sure that Hillary Clinton got in. God knows where we would be if Hillary Clinton got in, because that woman is the devil incarnate. No, I've got no issue with Democrats per se, or Republicans per se, like voting left or right, the same thing. But like, she personally is a fucking demon.
The company that actually owns the electronic voting systems in America in particular, but most of the Western world, Dominion is the name of the company.
Yeah.
And they're actually registered out of Venezuela. They actually supply a service, and there used to be evidence that you could find online that they would be able to charge you a percentage or a certain price for a guaranteed result. And then there's like a price they'll charge you for a near like guaranteed result, because obviously more work has to be done for a guaranteed result. So there was like
a video on that somewhere in here.
Yeah, it's fascinating that they're so blatant with it, but they've been rigging elections for decades.
The thing is, though, guys, these are all done by design. Them sneaking out information saying, "Oh, look at this person collecting all these ballot votes, and look at this one stuffing all these fake, all these signed votes for people that are dead and all that." There were videos coming out about it, wasn't there? And there was a couple of men who set up some big legal action about it all, and saying they were going to, take them down. Do you remember that woman who was with General Flynn? I can't remember her name. And she said, "I'm going to release the Kraken on this." And it was
Sydney.
That's it. Yeah, it was complete bullshit. It's just another distraction. They want you to see these things because are you all guys in with me on this one? There's different types of energy, yeah.
Eugene isn't. Eugene's already distancing himself.
He's got further back to the team. He's got further back from his camera. Like,
yeah.
It's the Homer Simpson through the hedge meme.
Yeah,
I'm just asking questions.
Usually doesn't even know where we're going with it yet, but he's already said, "No, I'm probably not with you on this one, John. When you say energy as the first word, I'm going to probably just sit back out on this one." Now, go on, John. What are you saying?
By the end of the show, he'll be in that doorway behind him.
No, he's getting closer again. He's getting closer. I can see. He's going to be coming through the screen in a minute, like Black Mirror episode.
No.
It's on my list. I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's different types of energy, and you've got an energy which is called disappointment energy, right? So if you disappoint all of the people that wanted Trump in, and you show them this evidence that, oh, look, he should have been voted in, this is corrupt, right? But nothing's ever done about it. But they show you all this stuff saying, look at this person, look, stuff in this ballot box with all these fake signed ballot papers for Biden. Look, we've got to do something about this. And then that woman, Sydney, I can't remember her name, and General Flynn say they're going to release the Kraken on this and all this bullshit. It's a load of old shit. It's done to disappoint people, to create low energy vibrations.
Sidney Powell.
That's it. So shit, and you're frustrated and you're down and you're depressed and thinking, oh, like, stuff this. We got Biden now 4 years. Everything's going to go bad. Trump was the savior. He's going to save everyone. And it's a really shitty 4 years. And everyone wants Trump back in, don't they? Trump's suddenly the hero because Biden can't be any worse. And then you don't want this Kamala Harris in because she was with Biden. So now we've got to get Trump in to save the bloody day. Right?
Yeah, but now we know that Trump sucks off Bill Clinton. I mean, I don't know what...
Exactly.
Do we know that? Do we know that?
I don't know what to think anymore.
That's a crazy allegation. That's a crazy one for me. Not even for me, that's a crazy one.
Like, how wild has it got to be when you know that everyone's got a little bit of info? Everyone's got some dirt on everybody, right? The reason why the Clinton files, or the Epstein, like the flight list never came out was because they're all on it. And, you know, all of the billionaire, the CEOs, and if the truth really came out about what was going on at the high end of society, you know, there would be like there'd be forced resignations of like CEOs of probably like the biggest companies out there, the tech companies, the ones that Eugene works for, you slave Eugene, all of these.
Not anymore. Unemployed.
Oh, shit. What happened?
Double salute to you, sir.
You okay?
No. Oh, why? Are you guys going to loan me? No, I mean, I'm fine.
What happened? What was it? Did you lose your job or did you?
Oh, yeah, but it's been a while. It's been a bit. It's been some time.
You okay?
Is that because you've been in this channel?
Yeah, exactly. After the first show, I got a call from my boss saying, "Hey, I saw you on YouTube. Gotta go."
Sorry to hear that, mate. Sorry
to hear that. You'll find something else, mate. You'll find something else. Onwards and upwards.
That's why Elon. That's why no slandering Elon. You know, I need a job. So
I hope you didn't take that QQQ call.
Oh no! Don't remind me.
Oh yeah, the triple Q calls. Yeah, that didn't work out so well, did it?
Yeah, no. You should have told me.
I did tell you.
It was too late. It was my bad. I should have asked. I didn't know that you guys were in that, business. So now I know.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about your job loss, mate. So I hope it all works out, buddy. But yeah,
when one door closes, another one opens.
100%, exactly. Yeah. If all of these CEOs were to get uncovered as being raging PDF files, right, and there was forced resignations galore, half of the market would crash, and with it would go all of the pension, the 401k investors, all that stuff. It would cause catastrophic damage to, people's ability to pay their bills, their retirements, yada yada yada. So, like, on the one hand, like, you want the truth to come out. You want there to be the exposure that all these people are fucking weird. And if you're someone that believes in that stuff, if you believe in Pizzagate, if you believe in the fact that like sexual bribery is happening at the weirdest level and at the highest level, then you kind of want to be proven right about all that stuff. But at the same time, the consequences, the fallout, if that stuff did really, if the onion, like if Pandora's box was literally open, the chaos that would ensue, like no one would know what the fuck to do. If you woke up tomorrow morning and on all over the internet there was, and it was like, there's been a meltdown behind the scenes, and someone's turned around and gone, "Fuck you, Israel. Do what you want. Go for me. Do your worst." And they go, "Okay, then." And they show that video about Donald Trump doing something dodgy, and then someone else goes, "If you're going to show that, I'll show that." And then all of a sudden, you just got like thousands and thousands and thousands of gigabytes of content about all of these like celebrities or politicians or whatever, power brokers, and all of their dirty secrets have come out. What the fuck would happen in society? Like,
I tell you, mate, nothing would happen. People have got, they've already tried these tests, like the COVID test. People will just line up and they take it, like they just keep doing it and seeing how far they can push up. And people just keep lining up and taking it. I don't know what the line is, but it ain't coming in. You
don't think people would go?
No, I don't. I don't think people are strong enough. I really don't.
But there'd be no government. The government would implode.
It can implode.
You can't
Money goes
have
on.
a raging kiddie fiddler in number 10 Downing Street.
Mate, we've how many times we've had it in the UK? Jimmy Savile, we've had all. No one does nothing. No one says anything. They write a little Facebook post on it or whatever. But the general consensus is, oh, I'll carry on my little sheltered life. You know, like there's not a unity with people, mate. They don't fight. You know, like that example, like the COVID thing. Everyone lined up, did their masks. Everyone did what they was told. They clapped.
And nobody knew at the time. A lot of people were curious, but nobody knew. And still to this day, people like my dad, love him to bits. He would jump off a bridge if the government told him he had to for his own good, right? And I love him to bits. He's a very, very, very smart guy. But they go, "Yep, we got to get your 19th booster." Okay, and he wonders why he still gets flu every month. Like I'm like, what are we doing here? But he's so caught up in the, like I've told him for so long that he's wrong about the way that the world works, and I know it's probably no one likes to be told that they're wrong about something, which is a big deal. But like he's now so embedded in it that he wouldn't want to. He would find it very difficult to ever accept that he's been lied to on that level.
Mate, the draconian law has just got so much worse. Like my nan, God rest her soul, she was the same as your dad. She would believe she always used to say, "I would dob you in if you did something wrong." Like that's all. She was always very much like, the law looks after me, the health cares look after me, everything. You know, like the Bible was gospel. You know, she's very, very super religious. But mate, honestly, like somewhere along the line in the last like 30, 40, 50 years, mate, they've changed it. They've got so much sinister with it all. You know, and you can't trust them anymore. You can't trust the doctors. You can't trust the politics. I mean, you can never really trust the politicians or bankers anyway, but you know, generally they did a good job of putting on a bit of a shit show, you know, but you can't trust any of them, mate. You know, like you used to be able to trust healthcare to a degree, but mate, I wouldn't trust going to.
But there is still the illusion that they like 60%, 70% of the British public or the American public, whatever, you know, probably think, okay, I hate the left, I love the right, or I love the right, I hate the right, I love the left, whatever, and they'll pick their sides. But there's at least still the illusion with most people that whilst they might be bad people out for themselves and a little bit corrupt, what can you do about it? It is what it is. No such thing as a clean £5 note kind of thing. Like there's that, but there's a difference to you wake up in the morning and you realize that everybody from the heads of governments, the heads of like the royal family, if all of it came out and that everybody was one big fucking giant, I don't know, reptilian child shagger.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I would love to get it up.
I don't know how the world would cope with that information. I don't know how they cope with it.
Mate, they'd probably tell them the news, and the news would tell them, it's all right, don't worry, you carry on. And they would.
Yeah. What do you reckon, John? Do you reckon the world, if that all broke, do you reckon the world would just get on with it? Or do you reckon there'd be civil war?
No, well, I think like Nikos said, you had all that test through COVID, which I knew was bullshit before it even came out. Me and my friend, we were looking on his phone and it said about this thing going on in Wuhan. There's some virus. And we both looked at each other and said, they're going to use that, aren't they, now against us? And it's exactly what they did. And a lot of people just went along with it. And when they got told they could go to the pub, they went to the pub. When they got told they could go out for an hour's exercise, they did that. And there was a few of us who actually smelt a rat, but now there's many of us. And the ones that are not going to wake up from it, they're never going to wake up. That's their destiny. That's what they chose before they came here, if you want to believe all of that stuff. But not everyone's meant to be aware. It's just the way it is. That's a test for the people that are aware, you know, having to stand up in that society with the people that are trying to make it oppressive. You know, not everyone's going to be understanding what's going on. If you look on X, a guy called Donnie Discerned, sorry, have you seen him?
I love the name, Donnie Darkened.
Sorry, he's Donnie Discerned. He was Donnie Darkened, and he talks about Trump.
Did he he's changed his name?
Yeah, he talks about Trump and he talks about Bible prophecy. And he says, like, he talks about everything that comes out in the American politics world, and he says, you know, this is exactly Bible prophecy. And he said, you're being shown all these things to show how dark and evil they are, so you eventually turn against them. So people that, like, the masses rise up, and we kick them out, and then you have a new system that comes in, and the new system is the absolute shit, the whole fucking beast system, which is why you're getting so many celebrities and all these politicians like that Dominic Cummings and Liz Truss try and tell you the hidden truth, but they're actually part of the scam as well, because they're only going to tell you what they want you to know, like all this Epstein thing. It's all a distraction. Do you think they're going to tell you? Do you think the media is going to come out with stuff like Andrew and all that if they didn't want you to know? Of course not. They control it. They're all in it with each other.
So you reckon there'll be the awakening of, like, we're all going to wake up one day and have had enough of the corruption, the sleaze, the suggestions, the scandals, all that stuff, and then there'll be some sort of, like, I don't know, a rising phoenix, the solution to all of our problems that is actually the Antichrist. Is that what we're saying?
That is this Donny Discern. He says that is Bible prophecy, that we're in Satan's little season. And all of the things are coming up like end times. Like, did you see that thing about the prophets, whoever it was, the priests or something in Israel, 40 of them blowing these bloody horn things? Like, all of that stuff is Bible prophecy.
Yeah.
And why are all these people suddenly coming out like Dominic Cummings? Oh, this is bullshit. That's not real. Politicians have got no power. Stuff that I've been saying for about 25 years. And people going, you're a nutcase, mate. Of course they have. Like Keir Starmer, he's an arsehole, and he's this and he's that. Like, he hasn't got any power. He's just a puppet. He's just a talking head. And
who are the people behind the faces?
You tell me. But this is,
civil servants, or is it like?
No,
is it like aliens? I mean, it's always aliens on this channel. The answer always comes back to aliens.
They're not going to tell you who it really is, are they? They're going to tell you some other bullshit.
No, is it the World Economic Forum? Is it Klaus Schwab and his son who's taken over that thing? Is it, like the Rockefeller, like the 13 families of the Illuminati bloodline? Like, who is it that's really like sitting there going, all right, this is what we're going to do in 2027. We're going to have another virus outbreak. In 2028, we're going to have a financial collapse, and in 2030, we're going to have the fake alien invasion thing. Like, what is that, Project Bluebeam? Like, who's the guy who's writing the time, or the girl? Who's the person that's right, or the alien, or the reptilian? Who is writing the script that all of these? Who's the puppeteer that's running the Punch and Judy show? Who's the puppeteer?
Person? No one's going to have that power ultimately, because otherwise everyone's going to stand up and go, I don't think so. We're not doing that. It's got to be a collective.
Daniel Levy, that comment, Daniel Levy.
Yeah, talk about
it will be a group of people. That there's you've come across like the Magnificent 12s or the Power families. The 13 bloodlines. It's a select group of people. It wouldn't be one person. It would be compromisable if it was one person, wouldn't it?
Just quickly, Destiny. Why you keep going after religion here? Why are you going after it? Why are you having to go at Nikos? Nikos hasn't brought up anything about religion tonight.
That was a thing.
Is it a thing?
Oh, Destiny's sensitive, mate. Don't make me talk about your paedophile god.
Is that Destiny dogging?
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Again,
it's definitely the intergalactic treaty. It's the aliens, isn't it? It's the intergalactic. What's the intergalactic council or something? What they call it?
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah. From The Simpsons.
Have you seen the movie Midnight Meat Train?
No.
It's a movie basically about a New York subway train. Vinnie Jones plays the butcher, and Matthew McConaughey is the replacement butcher, and his job is to take live meat into the subway station at a certain time of day on a schedule to the reptilians that live underground in New York. And like when I first watched it all those years ago,
what's it called? I need to write this down.
It's called The Midnight Meat Train. I watched it the other night for the first time in about 10 years, and I watched it. I was like, "Oh my fucking God!" It makes a lot of sense that there's something under the ground, and they're probably ruling everything, and that we're slaves to them. But yes, Midnight Meat Train. It's got quite a good cast of people in it. Vinnie Jones is in it. Matthew McConaughey's in it. It's got a good storyline.
It's not a comedy. It's a legit.
It's to do with the reptilians living underground in New York. Like we're subservient to them, and we have to feed them, and the meat train feeds them. Like I said, if you want to know who rules the world, and we're being shown in movies and
The
things like this.
reptilians rule the world, right?
I think so. I think they're under the ground. I think they've been here long before us and long after us. In that movie, it actually says that. The woman who actually is one of the police officers, she said they've been here long before and they'll be here long after. It's funny, when I watched it, I sounded like I was listening to myself a little bit say some things, but
do you ever get like, do you guys ever, sorry, Eugene, you want to say something? Sorry, mate.
No.
No, go, come on, Eugene, can't contribute, mate. You're just sitting there, you're distancing
No,
yourself
no,
from
I'm
the chat
just
and the
listening.
camera
I'm taking it
tonight.
in. The
And the
answer
camera.
is simple. It's Nazis. All this. So, what happened after the World War II? All the Nazis surrendered except SS. SS moved to Argentina. They gave up nukes to the Americans, right? So the Americans can have the bomb. So the whole point is the Nazis, the Third Reich concept. It's a long game, thousands of years. So all those families, like the top of the SS, they were really wealthy families. They all moved to Argentina. Bormann, I think he was in charge of all their finances. He was writing checks as late as 1970s. So all the money was there. Also, America, the CIA, they utilized SS spy network in Germany, in East Germany, I believe, because they didn't have their own. So basically, everything from SS came to the Americans, and now all those families at the top of that's the deep state, and they're playing the long game. They want to see this Third Reich 1,000 years from now. They're not ideological, but kind of that's what somebody told me.
There's towns in Argentina that
Yeah,
are
they're all German.
everyone's blonde hair, blue eyed.
Patagonia.
Nazi towns, aren't there?
Patagonia.
Yeah, all Germans.
It's Patagonia, is it? I'm sure it's in Nazi
Patagonia.
hideout as well. I believe to be found in Argentina. Time
Yeah, and
magazine.
It's regions called Bariloche, which is German Swiss influenced. There's Villa General Belgrano, which is German influenced, and then there's San Martin de los Andes. There's a few of them, but I actually agree with Eugene on that. When World War II ended, they shipped a bunch of the scientists to Russia and America on Operation Paperclip, and the main leaders of the German military actually went and started new communities in South America, predominantly.
It's not just scientists, right? It's the CIA is basically used that SS spy network. It's basically SS became CIA, or at least a lot of the agents. And again, it's all a theory, but also kind of the atomic bomb, the not Oppenheimer, who was developing nukes for Germany. Not Oppenheimer. What's his name? You guys know. The Breaking Bad guy. What's his name?
Heisenberg.
Yeah, Heisenberg, right? He was in charge of their nuke program, but that was a front because they were developing not a fusion-based nuke, but a fission-based nuke. The difference is the radiation that comes. I know they don't believe in nukes, but when the nuke explodes, the radiation, that's because of the fusion. But Nazis were developing the fission bomb, meaning they blow up a city and then the army can come in and actually conquer whatever that city. So that was a secret black project. So they gave Americans the fusion technology so they can develop a bomb in exchange for letting the SS escape to Argentina. And they kind of became, and especially in America at that time, there were a lot of Nazi sympathizers. A lot of the elites were on board with Nazis, not necessarily ideologically, but it's more about taking the means of production and controlling kind of the government and the production. And a lot of those families who have the same mindset, kind of they're in charge of the world, not the world, but they're kind of in charge. Run all the governments. They're the deep state.
The Nazis were right into their occult, right? They were really into trying to mix with the. Have you guys heard of the Houska Castle?
Yes, I listened to the pod about it recently.
The Houska Castle is a fucking wild story, right? So it's out in somewhere in Czech Republic, what is now known as the Czech Republic. And basically the story, like the myth, the legend is that there was this monk, right, who went against God. And he was the punishment for going against God was to be bricked up inside like a tower basically.
It was on Y files. Yeah, sorry, Sean. Yeah, go for it.
It was on what? The Y files, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm
Last
sure he'll
week
tell,
or 2 weeks ago. Yep.
I'm sure he'll tell a much better story than me, right? So I haven't checked that because him and the fish are brilliant.
I
But
love that. Fish.
so yeah, the fish is fantastic. Was it reptilians? Yeah, reptilians. He's fucking brilliant. So this monk, apparently the rumor goes that this monk was basically supposed to die, right? You're supposed to get blocked in for going against God, but he turned around and said, "If I'll do a deal with you. If I can write overnight, give me 24 hours, and I'll write down all of the world's knowledge into a book. And if I can do that overnight, then you'll let me survive." And they thought obviously it's not going to happen, but yeah, sure, if you can do it, do it. You've got 24 hours. So he makes a deal with the devil that he says, you know, I've got to survive. Like, oh, you can have my soul or whatever. And the devil says, fine, no problem at all. And basically so he falls asleep and he wakes up and there's this giant book. And the book still to this day fucking exists, by the way. This is where the truth is. The book does exist. It's in a museum somewhere, and it's perfectly written by hand. The entire, all of the books of the Bible, all of the verses, everything. And it's at certain pages in it, towards the back, it's got a picture of this green devil, and it's also got all of these spells and these like how to cast spells for a bunch of different things. And it's entirely weird. But anyway, so he wakes up in the morning, they open up the door, and there's his book. Later on, someone casts a spell, right? Someone reads out a spell. I think this is the story. Someone reads out a spell, and it basically opens up this sort of vortex, this hole in the ground, where people can hear these like screams and noises from. And this is like back in the 1800s or the 1400s, I think it was, the 14 or 1500s. And they decide to put prisoners down into the well. They can't figure out how deep this hole is. And so they put like rope down there, no matter how long the rope is, no matter how much they throw down, they throw rocks down there, and it never hits the bottom. So they end up putting like some prisoners down there as well. And they pull the prisoners out like a couple of minutes afterwards, and the prisoners have all like aged crazily. They've like gone all like old and grey haired and stuff. Anyway, so like the sort of story sort of ends there. I think they decided to like cement over or like put like massive granite slabs over the top to stop these demons and evil spirits coming out of this hole. Shoot forward 500 years, and the Nazis go there and decide to investigate, because the Nazis are really into this occult stuff and want to find out what's going on. Can they harness the power of these evil spirits? And so they get there, they find the granite countertop, the granite things, the big stone blocks that are on top of it. They get through it, they drill through it, and they see exactly the same thing. They test exactly the same way, and they also send prisoners down, and they come back out, and they're all old and shit. They built a castle around it called the Houska Castle, and the reason it's weird is because the Houska Castle is not built with any kind of purpose. It's miles away from any water. It's miles away from the roads or from the paths that people would walk. So no one can understand what it's there for. But all of the kind of like the placements in the castle look like it's pointing inwards. So like the castle is there to keep something in rather than to keep something out. They find this hole, they drill it over, and again, there's all these rumors about evil spirits. Still to this day, that castle exists, and it still has the concrete and the slabs over the top of this giant hole. And despite that castle being sold like numerous times to different owners over the years, nobody has removed the lid on this hole because they're terrified of whether or not it's actually legit. I genuinely believe this story is
no, but that's the point. Nazis removed that slab.
Yeah, but since then, when the Nazis apparently when the Nazis lost the war, they got a message to the people at the Houska Castle, whoever the top guy was in charge, and said, burn everything, right? Get rid of all of the files, get rid of all the documents, get rid of all of the archives, everything. So they threw everything in there, they sealed it back up, and then they fucked off or they died or whatever happened. But still to this day, this is it. It's still there right now, and it's changed hands hundreds of times. And apparently inside that castle, there is a giant fucking hole. Apparently this is I don't know if this is a copy, like a fake picture of it, but apparently it's legit there. And no one knows how the fuck how deep it goes. Like, it doesn't seem to have a bottom. But whenever in the past they've looked into it, it just has horrendous noises, and people that have gone down inside of it come out and they're all aged and fucked. It's apparently it's legit. So, like, I don't know, fucking weird story. I don't know how I got onto this. I know what it was. It was the Nazis, right? The Nazis are into the aliens for sure. It's all about aliens, Eugene.
It's aliens. I think did they tell us in the Indiana Jones movie, like one of the ones from the 80s, where they're like the Nazis were on the crusade for the Ark of the Covenant, and they were looking for the secrets to the universe. And in one of the later Indiana Joneses, they had the crystal skulls and stuff like that. Like, I think the Nazis were privileged to an advanced technology. You know, you're familiar with the Glocken, the bell. Have you come across the Glocken?
Yeah. The giant bell. The giant bell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a UFO, like basically like an anti-gravity technology that they had. When there's lots of like stations that still exist to this day, like all over Germany. But I just think, you know, during World War II, one of the reasons why, you know, they took all the scientists and they moved them all over to America and Russia and had an agreement to split them all up, is they figured something out, you know, in one way, shape or form, whether they found it, explored for it, bought it, were given it or whatever. I just think that the whole reason why the Nazi thing was a thing was because they had something that no one else had. You know, someone brought up a minute ago there, the one of the Nazi scientists, Werner von Braun, on his tombstone, they have he has a tombstone, obviously when he died, and it says Psalms 19.1. So that's a Bible verse that he's basically credited with.
Firmament, isn't it? It was the firmament verse, right?
Yeah, the verse is the heavens declare the glory of God and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. That's the actual verse. That's the only thing on this guy's tombstone. And this guy was the chief engineer.
Sorry, Nicholas. Hey, boys, I gotta run. Apologies.
See you, mate. Appreciate you, buddy. Cheers, Eugene.
Be good, mate. Yeah, his tombstone had nothing on it at all. Of all the achievements he had, he was the chief engineer for the V2 rocket program in World War II in 1942. He surrendered to the US Army in 1945. He became a US citizen in 1955. In 1960, he became the director of NASA. And in 1969, he was the chief architect on the Apollo 1 or 2 program. And this guy died, and that's all they left on his tombstone was that verse from the Bible, Psalms 19.1. And it references the firmament. This guy spent his life dealing with aerial technology.
Psalms 91. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Different translations offer slight variations, such as the King James's version, firmament showeth his handiwork.
Exactly. What they've done is they basically edited it over the last few times of rewriting it. They've liquidated it down a little bit to make it a little bit more consumer friendly, but the actual they've done it in such a way, if you start mentioning firmaments and stuff like that, it gives too much away. But the literal translation from that first King James Bible is the heavens declare the glory of God and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. And that was what was on this Nazi scientist he worked with Walt Disney. You know, he was one of the people that were they did it. What did he do with Walt Disney? Do you remember what he did with Walt Disney, John?
Well, there's some theories that it's the same person, isn't it? Hitler and Walt Disney.
There was something he did with him. He did a TV show with him. He did a TV show with him out in the 1960s. I have to think what it was called, but he did a show with him, and it was like a science friendly show. Disney did the animation, and he did the narration. What was it called? I can't think of it now. I'll come up on the next show. I'll bring it up in the next show. But basically, the two of them worked together in providing some sort of type of entertainment that was like one of them's visualizations, and he was the narrator of telling people what was happening. So this was a Nazi scientist 10 years before he done it, 15 years before he done it, and he was given to the US population as gospel, So he was a very important person. I can't think what it's called. I'll find it for the next one. It was called 1950s on an educational program about space, Man in Space, 1955.
Definitely, if I make you mod, bro, you can't be having a crack at Nikos for having religious takes, mate. This is an open-minded place. I'll make you a mod, Destiny, because I love you to pieces. But this is a forum where everyone's allowed to think what they want and believe what they want. And
I try and back it up as well, mate. I don't just stand there with an opinion on something and say that's my stance. I'm stuck there, Try and be
He loves
flexible with
you.
everything.
He loves
mate.
you. He loves you. He's saying he loves you. He's banter. There you go. Yeah, I know. I know.
Thank you,
All
sir.
good.
Thank you, sir.
All good.
Appreciate it.
I'll make you.
No,
I'll make you.
he basically did, right? He basically did with Walt Disney. He did Man in Space in 1955. He did Man and the Moon in 1956, and he did Mars and Beyond in 1957. That was Walt Disney and Werner von Braun. Mars is just a chocolate bar. Remember, I told you.
That was the funniest thing I've ever heard. Out of nowhere.
I said it so. I mean, it's
40 years ago, Mars was just a fucking chocolate bar, Sean.
But I said it sarcastically, but when I reviewed it on the actual like the next day, trying to get the breakdown of like the snippets and stuff, I was like, mate, I look really serious. When I said that, I look really serious. Like,
it was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
But what I remember was it was theoretical. Like 50, 60 years ago, Mars was like some sort of type of theory, you know? Like when I was a kid, Mars was a chocolate bar and that was it, wasn't it? You know, like of course I appreciate there's a wandering star and there's texts that go back hundreds of years referencing it, but it was quite funny. When I watched it back, I was like, oh my God, what? Oh my God.
That was so funny. Just out of nowhere, we're having a chat about whether or not Mars is like a planet in the sky. Like, what? Wait, Sean. Let's not beat out the bush here. 45 years ago, Mars was just a fucking chocolate bar.
I meant it. I still mean it. But when I said it, I looked back. I was like, man, I look really serious. Like I'm ready to fight someone for this, you know. Like, but the point is like Werner von Braun was one of the Nazi scientists, and Mars wasn't a thing like in the modern era of like space and stuff until this guy starts making documentaries about it with Walt Disney. You know, like I didn't have the information obviously last week, and I had a whole lot of carver in me, so I wasn't quite ready for it. But
we have to do a show on Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Anyway, John, because do you guys know enough about Walt Disney to get us going?
Yeah,
let's not.
He's into that fucking the club 33 club or 13 club or something where he
33.
shagging all the kids.
Yeah, if you ever go to, I mean, the Walt Disney parks themselves are quite dubious places. They've got labyrinths of underground tunnels under them, but actually inside the Disney parks themselves, California and Disney one, they actually have a Freemason lodge inside the park, and it's known as the 33 Club or the 33 Diner. It's changed names a few times, but you've got to actually do the handshake going in the door and all this kind of weird stuff to get in there. And yeah, I've never actually been in it myself, but it's actually quite obvious in the park. You walk around the park and like, because obviously it's like all. But, you know, it's so like uncomprehendable when you walk around these parks. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to the Walt Disney Park. I've been there quite a few times, but you walk past it and it just looks like something of show. You know, it looks like something that was created just to, fit in. But there's actually all these secret doors, and also the toilets as well. In all the Walt Disney parks, there's actually Masonic flooring in all the bathrooms. There used to be all Masonic flooring in all the bathrooms, and they used to have trapdoors. And this is where a lot of the kids go missing, is they're in the toilets, unattended with their parents, and actually take them from the toilets. People will stand outside the toilets waiting with their kids. But mate, Walt Disney is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. We all like Mickey Mouse.
I'm sure that I'm trying to think of the girl's name. There was a woman who said that her dad sold her to Tom Hanks as a sex slave at allegedly at Club Disney, or at the 33 Club, and there was a picture of her as a younger girl. She said this was like a day before I was sold to Tom Hanks. And then obviously Tom Hanks has got some weird shit about him, hasn't he? Like that guy, the guy with the funny hair, the fluffy hair who committed suicide, who said that Tom Hanks was what was his name?
Cappy.
Isaac Cappy.
Isaac Cappy, yeah. Isaac Cappy said that Tom Hanks was a raging PDF file.
Yeah, he was charged with delivering children to him, and if you ever looked into the Tom Hanks Instagram profiles and stuff like that, he always left these really weird. Such a high profile.
Like a child's flip-flop somewhere, like on a wall, and going, "I wonder what happened to the child," and the other flip-flop.
Yeah, very.
You guys seen that video of Demi Moore kissing a boy? He's about 13 or something.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, that's weird as fuck as well, isn't it? Although he probably had the best day ever. He's sitting there probably thinking, "I'm fucking wait till I tell the boys at school about this."
But he was a hero. I used to love Demi Moore when I was a kid. Demi Moore was the one, mate. I tell you, Demi Moore was the one. She was married to Bruce Willis at the time, but mate, I would have been envious of him at 14.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah,
it doesn't work the other way around. Doesn't work the
Now
other way
we're all
around.
saying she's a paedophile, but if that had happened to us when we were his age, we would all be going into school the next day and go,
Yeah. Never gets to our probably last night. Debbie Moore.
I'm never
yeah,
washing these lips again.
Yeah, but there's a lot more. It's more than just hooking up with them. There's like, you know, they take their souls. You know, like they do a lot more than just molest these kids. You know, like there's a lot more that goes on. You know,
you'd be going like that to all your mates, wouldn't you?
Smell my fingers. Smell my fingers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mrs. Marple, if you're watching, I apologise.
I'm not sure if Mrs. Marple's about this one, about this show. She's like, she said, leave Tom Hanks alone. Earlier on, she was saying she wasn't happy with something else we were saying.
She hasn't been happy.
This is what we do here, Flo. This is what we do here, Florence. Right?
I'm trying to appease her. I'm trying to appease her as much as I can.
I told you, mate. Don't worry about appeasing people. Just do you. Don't do you. People would have known. Forget about it.
I said, you know, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and we hit 100 people tonight. So we've got 30 new viewers that have come in tonight, and we're
104. I think 104 or 105 is the new record. Yeah, we're doing okay on this channel.
You want to set a good image for ourselves, you know, and try and sort of be knowledgeable and give people content that they want to enjoy and watch, and maybe watch back later. You know, like I don't want people being turned off by certain things.
No, of course not. But we're not leaving Tom Hanks alone. So if Tom Hanks deserves to be scrutinised we shall.
Mate, we'll get in Tom Hanks one of the next shows. But yeah, what was that football when he was stuck on the island? What was the one on the island that he's got the kids' blood face on? Yeah, Castaway, mate. We'll get into that in one show.
Let's get the boil and stop Demi Moore.
Oh, mate, yeah. Do you know on the ball he drew the little face on the ball?
Oh yeah. And then the woman, what's her name? The blonde woman. She had
Ellen
it on
DeGeneres.
Ellen, yeah. She's dodgy as fuck. That girl kept her youth, and then as soon as like 2016, 2017 turned around, all of a sudden she aged.
Mate,
very
fucking England. It's because she moved to England.
Does she live here now? Does she?
Yeah, she lives in England. Yeah.
Yeah,
when all this stuff come on top, she went to England, mate. But yeah, the aging probably comes from the weather in England. But no, the face on the ball, the face on the ball is like a symbol that they use, and it's we said them on the last show. It's when he takes, yeah, mate, it's sick. With, when he takes his skin off, yeah, exactly, yeah, sick. That's what that means, and it's not just referenced in that movie Castaway that Tom Hanks was in. It's been on a lot of different shows. They've put it on designer clothes, you know, like I've done it on all sorts of stuff, mate. But it's
this
a
one,
secret.
Here we go. I got it.
Got it?
Yeah, this thing, right? It's the frazzle drip one, isn't it? It's the frazzle drip.
That's it, yeah.
Supposedly, yeah.
Do you reckon that frazzle drip thing's real, John?
No.
You don't?
More distractions. Do you think they're going to come out of it on mainstream media?
This thing here, though, this thing here on the far left, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor. That picture of that face that's all been torn up and sewn back together, that legit looks like it's someone. Like that doesn't look like it's. This is before AI as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying that that's necessarily anything to do with any conspiracy. That might just be someone that's been in a car wreck for all I know. But whatever it is, it's fucked. It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, well, if you, I agree with John on like 99.9% of stuff, but this particular one, I think I have to kind of like go the other way on. Like, you're familiar with adrenochrome, you know, it's the extraction of blood from, you know, people in severe pain, you know, like adrenalized blood. You know, this is what they do to the cattle on the farms, and you know, when they take this produce from victims, they need them to be in the most severe pain and shock.
It was in the film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Exactly, Johnny Depp. Exactly. So the adrenochrome is actually they found all these different creative ways of creating this like most intense fear and pain and agony in their victims before they extract. So I think the frazzle drip is actually some sort of type of like it's just a program of getting the victim as scared as they can. You know, imagine waking up and like, you know, you're seeing somebody take your face off your face, you know, like, you know, it's heart-wrenching, you know, to think about it, even if it is like even remotely true, you know. But I think the frazzle drip thing, I think, you know, I don't think that's a psyop. I think that's just information that has somehow been leaked. Since they give us the internet, there's certain things that slip through the cracks, and I think that happens to be one of them. But yeah, they're
saying here that this is a painting by some geezer from 1982. Barbarian saying it's a painting by Basquate from 1982. You fucking morons.
It doesn't look like it at all, really.
Well, that looks this thing here looks more like the painting on the paint. Well, it looks more like the painting there on the guy on his jacket, for example. There,
Yeah,
that looks this thing on Jay-Z's hoodie looks more like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Than Frazzle Drip. So,
but they're all like art connoisseurs, or they're all.
Bit funny, but how has that passed? I reckon I could do that when I'm drunk. Do a better job when I'm drunk. How is that actually fucking like art?
And where does the inspiration come from? That original artist in the 1800s? Maybe that's.
1982. 1982.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah, so maybe the original person that done that. Maybe that was like the original Frazzle Dripper.
Possibly Frazzle Drip the first.
That's where they get the bacon fry things, Frazzles from. Probably the name.
Oh,
love a bag of Frazzles. Love a bag of Frazzles. By the way, there's no conspircy here. The only conspiracy is anybody who's telling me that pickled onion Monster Munch isn't the best type of the best of all snacks.
I have to agree. I'm a roast beef or flaming hot guy. They're gold dust here. You don't find flaming Monster Munch anywhere. Like when I'm getting my care packages at Christmas, I'm ordering flame grilled McCoys, beef alien crisp, whatever they were called, and roast beef.
You're fucked in the head, Nicholas. And if you're
Space Raiders, beef Space Raiders.
Nah, mate.
Do you guys put them in a sandwich though? Do you put bread and butter and then like crush them?
Yeah. No, but I still to this day go down the road and go and get a baguette from Co-op. I'll go and get salad. It'll be nice and healthy. Salad, lettuce, cucumber, tomato, some ham, some nice ham, a little bit of breadcrumb on it, a load of salad cream, and then I'll also get some salt and vinegar Walkers and shove it in the baguette. I'm quite healthy in as much as I rip the dough out of the baguette because it makes me feel like I'm not having quite as fattening a sandwich, but then I replace the dough with crisps. So,
It's got a bloody salad in it as well.
Mate, in this economy as well, mate, the butter and the bread cost you about £5, so you might as well just go down to a restaurant.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's absolutely true. Mate, what are we doing here, Danny? Mate, Danny, you disappoint me once again. The flaming hot Monster Munch were the best. What
yes,
are
sir.
you doing?
Thank you, sir. They were the best. They were like I remember when they first come out, the red packet. I was like, yeah, mate, I was sold forever, mate. That was like 25 years ago, but I could never get on board with the pickled onion ones, mate. You said you spent £100 in Tesco's the other day. Tell me what you bought.
I bought a bottle of vodka. I bought, apart from that, that's like 20 quid or whatever. Apart from that, it was just some meals, like a couple of I think it was a katsu curry meal and
like prepared stuff, like prepared.
Yes, I know. Yeah, mate, I'm too late. This is the thing. I know that's where they rip you off. Like if you've got the ability to actually cook for yourself, which I do have, but I don't want to do it because I'm just lazy as hell. So. Yeah, I buy pre-made, and to be honest, it's outrageous. Like I pulled the thing back, I pulled a katsu curry back, and there must have been like a quarter of a chicken breast in there, and it cost like £9 or something. I was like, "What are we doing here?"
Do Marks and Spencer still do that meal where you can get like free meals for a tenner, or like a 3-course meal for a tenner? Do they still do that? Or
yeah, it's probably like 14 quid now because of inflation. It's probably not tenner.
That used to be the one back in the day. That used to be the one.
Yeah. Yeah, they fuck around. But yeah, sorry, anybody is telling me, Space Raiders, but as long as it's pickled onion flavour.
Beef, mate.
No, because the pickled onion flavour on the Space Raiders is insane. It almost burns your tongue. It's so powerful.
That was the first one, right? The pickled onion ones were the first one. They didn't bring the beef one out to about 5 years later, I think. Pickled onions was like the first one.
Yeah. And the only one that ever should have kept it where it was.
We'll agree to disagree.
I'd love your tandoori chicken, Toby. I probably would, mate. I probably would. Probably would, buddy.
Me too.
Now he's got to make you one, Sean. He can't just say that. He's got to actually.
Yeah. Where do you live, Toby? I'll come and see you, mate. We'll have a tandoori.
Send me a delivery to Spain.
Yeah. All right, let's do another. Got time for one or two more.
When he gets there, still.
Yeah, 100%. Let's do one more, shall we? Have a look at this one. See what you think.
Can you give me an example of a food that's a vaccine?
You're right. Yes. University of California, Riverside has already perfected the ability to put human vaccines into our lettuce right now. Also tomatoes has the ability to do that also for UC Berkeley. And then Big Tobacco, R.J. Reynolds and stuff has perfected the ability to put a human vaccine into tobacco products.
Chairman Clements.
And is that even legal to do in the state of Tennessee, to sell those with a vaccine in them?
You're recognized.
Well, I'm not arguing that point. What I'm saying is there is no law deeming those that when you go into a grocery store, you should know as a consumer, this head of lettuce is a head of lettuce. The head of lettuce right next to it could contain a vaccine in it. All we're saying is if it does have the vaccine in it, make sure it's listed as a pharmaceutical so people can get the proper dosage.
You're recognized.
Thank you. Well, my question is right now, can you walk into a grocery store and there be a head of lettuce for sale that has a vaccine in it? I don't think that's allowed under state law presently. And if it is, and you have to list it as a pharmaceutical, are we going to then have Walgreens pharmacists with a refrigerated section? I mean, how's this going to play out?
You're recognized.
Thank you. This is more of a consumer protection bill right here, is to make sure that if you're going in to buy tomatoes and there's a polio vaccine in there, that you are aware of what you're buying has a polio vaccine. The problem you have is if it's not treated as a pharmaceutical, being the size and difference between you and me, how many tomatoes do I have to eat to get the proper dosage versus how many tomatoes that you have to eat? And if you eat too many, do you get a overdose? If you eat too less, like we had in the cattle industry with aeromycin, we weren't dosing our cattle properly, and the horn flies were developing an immunity to it. If we don't have the proper dosage of a vaccine, it could lead to the efficacy of that drug not work anymore.
I'm sorry, what the fuck? So they're not debating whether or not it's okay to put vaccines in food. They're just debating how they market the fucking thing.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Was that in your crisp baguette, Sean? Vaccinated lettuce with a salad?
Like I'm smoking some like an AIDS vaccine at the moment or something. What are we doing here?
Those apples you saw last week that are graded number 4, they're like triple boosted.
Yeah. What's the code? So if we don't want one with wax on it, then you avoid just buying an apple with code 4. If you don't want one with like polio in it, what do you like? What the fuck?
Mate, they've been using.
How is that possible? How is that not even got to the point where people are aware that they're putting vaccines in lettuces and tomatoes?
Mate, they've been putting vaccines in everything they can for 100 years. And, nearly everything they put a vaccine in, mate, has turned out to be bollocks and harmful. Everything they've done, the AIDS program, like all up to modern day COVID stuff, mate. People are now getting compensated left, right and centre off of the government for vaccination damage. Like anything they put it in, the cattle they put it in, you're going to be receiving some of that type of nutrient, I guess, or whatever, from the vaccine that ends up growing in the cow. Like, mate, I'm so anti-vax, mate. I couldn't be any more anti-vax if I tried. So, I don't care what religion or what.
Your child had 0 vaccines.
Yeah, mate, and it cost me, mate. Honestly, you want to see the fights I have to do to get it? No, mate. Honestly, like to fight and like a normal woman, like not fight physically, but that battle, that conversation was a long conversation. But my son was never vaccinated.
With your baby mum.
And he was born at the height of COVID as well. So when you like to go in just to have her, like in the hospital to like go into labour, she had to do a vaccinate, like a test, like a PCR test right there in the foyer before she could give birth, mate. Honestly, it was insane. The whole process.
She had COVID vaccine.
She never had the vaccine. No, I fought for all of us. It cost me more than what I realised it would. But mate, honestly, I'm glad that I did. And to this day, my son's not had any vaccinations. So
not any. So not for measles, not for mumps, nothing at all.
No. They give you one like when you're actually born that first day. They give you one because they take the kid off of you and they take you into a little room and they measure him and weigh him and they give you something there. But every appointment, there on outwards, mate. Like we would, again, I had to sit there like nights on end, fighting these battles, mate, and it made me look like a crazy person a lot of the time, but it was a battle that I'd take on every time over and over again, like unfortunately I don't believe in that stuff, mate, like again,
no, listen, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna have kids, so it's irrelevant, but like I saw those numbers like in the 1960s in America. It was like one in like 75 children had some form of autism. and now it's like 1 in 6 or 1 in 5 or something crazy like that. Now, I'm not saying that it's necessarily just because of vaccines. It could be because of like parents eating things, drinking things, whatever. It might just be coming through the genes or whatever. I don't know what it is, but like for sure there is a ridiculous like reduction in that ratio that can't be ignored.
I think it's changed as well since we were kids. When we were kids, you used to have like 4 or 5 vaccines. That was the program. Nowadays in America, there's like 160 childhood vaccinations until the age of 6 or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, madness.
And they wonder why everyone's got all these mental autism. You know, unfortunately, mate. Again, it's a conversation that has to be had at some point. And I know I'm the guy that kind of has to be the bad guy a lot of the time, but. You know, like until people start putting...
mate. No one listen. This channel is open-minded people, right? So, like everyone in the chat, you're allowed to disagree. You're allowed to call us all lunatics. You're allowed to say whatever you want. But like this channel is not about people with close. If you're close-minded, then probably shouldn't be.
It's data correlation. Like again, if you come from a sort of science or financial background, data is like the key to decision making. And there's a correlation between the data now for the vaccination damage and the vaccinations on many different types of programs. The government wouldn't be doing compensation payouts if they didn't acknowledge that something was wrong. You know, and the amount of compensation they've paid out in the last 2 years alone is insane. They paid out more in the last 2 years than anything they've ever paid out in collective history. And that's just the last 2 years. You know, imagine what they'll be doing over the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Like this program, they trick people into, mate. It's it's going to ruin people's lives and families. You know, so I made a decision a long time ago, like John did, mate. There was actually I was going to bring it up. Do you ever see the TV show with Jesse Ventura called Conspiracy Theorist? Did you ever watch that?
Yeah,
that come around. It was
I
free.
love Jesse Ventura. He talks
exactly. He was a
wrestler coming from Mexico.
He was a wrestler, but basically this TV show was from 2009 to 2011, I think. It basically like lasted 2 years or 3 years or something like this. That's what it was. It was like 12 episodes. But there was one particular episode where like a scientist flew in from Panama or somewhere in sort of middle South America. And she flew in on a private plane just to meet Jesse Ventura at an airport. She stayed in the hangar and she said there will be and basically described what just happened with COVID. There will be...
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Mate, that was in 2010. And when we experienced, I know John brought it up earlier, when we experienced that whole like process of you got to do this, this is the mandate, this is the law. Like all I could think of was like, I watched this 12 years ago, 10 years ago. I watched them tell me this is going to happen. Like, and I watched it play out, and that was one of the main reasons why I didn't do it.
I just have to ask, Anunnaki in the UK, right, bro? Your name, your icon, your handle. Everything about you suggests that you would be on board this stuff, yet the entire night you've been ridiculing us.
Like MI5, you heard me talking about the Beatles. No, I get it. I'm not taking my medical advice from a wrestler, but I've taken information.
It's a fucking brilliant jab, though. It's a brilliant joke. It's fucking hilarious.
I've just taken
I would have thought of all the names in the chat. You'd be someone that's like, yep, it's aliens,
Anunnaki. Definitely don't get aboard if you're saying it's all bullshit. But no, like you don't just take someone's word for it. What you do is you compile a consensus based on lots of data and information. That's what financial analysts do, and like someone like me and Sean, we listen to lots of different information and we throw it all together in a big ball, and somewhere along the line it spits out a conclusion. That's how that works.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. John, what are you saying about vaccines, mate? I'd imagine you're an anti-vax, are you?
Yeah, my mate's son, he was completely fine until he was about 6 or something like that. And I said to him, sorry, I should say for context, he's now autistic. And I said to him, was he vaccinated? And he went, oh, mate, he said, my ex demanded it. He said, and because she's got like main custody of him, there was nothing I could do. And he said it literally like days after he had all the vaccines that he just suddenly started changing.
Right.
So,
it's common. They don't make videos about it. They don't talk about it on the news. It's a taboo subject even to this day because pharmaceutical companies own most of the news and most of the TV programs and most of the TV stations. So if you talk about their products in a bad way, it's not very good marketing, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Shame.
Right, guys, let's be going for 2.5 hours again. So now this time flies by on this show. I absolutely love it. Let's do one last video, and then we'll move off. Then we'll come back to when's your next? I can't do Thursday.
Tomorrow,
Can't do tomorrow. What's that, John?
You were going to say tomorrow, weren't you, at first?
Yeah, and I can't do tomorrow. I've got Spurs 5 on a Monday night, so we can do Tuesday or Wednesday.
Stop that. Don't worry about that.
We could always go after Spurs 5. Could redirect 500 people over here from Spurs 5, sit and then see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just keep the same audience.
For me, Mondays and Wednesdays are like the toughest days. That's football practice day for the kid and Taekwondo on the Wednesday. So they're the two toughest days. I'm pretty flexible, the rest of them, but Mondays and Wednesdays are the tough ones, you know?
Right, we'll do Tuesday then. We'll do Tuesday night if that works for you, John, as well. If you're free, mate.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Let's do one last video, then we'll
get
round
Lorraine in as well on this, because she's going to be really great. She's got some loads of really good information and experience to bring in.
Oh, cool. Yeah, see if she can do it on Tuesday. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go for what's this one then? I don't know which one to go for. I haven't titled these. Let's have a look at this one.
AI is saying, we're just going to dump a bunch of viruses on you. And they're deadlier than anything we've ever created.
AI just created living viruses, and some of them are deadlier than anything nature created. Researchers successfully taught AI to write the genetic code for entirely new life forms. They took two AI models called Evo1 and Evo2. These are genome language models that can read your entire DNA. So they fed these AIs the genetic blueprint of over 2 million viruses, and then asked the models, design me a virus that can hunt and eliminate E. coli bacteria. AI didn't just copy existing viruses. It invented completely new genetic sequences that had never existed in 3.8 billion years of evolution, synthesized the actual DNA in a lab, and then brought these digital viruses to life. 16 of these AI-created viruses were not only alive and functional, but some of these were even more effective than the original virus they were based on. One of the viruses, called Evo PHI-69, completely dominated natural viruses by up to 65 times. And when they tested against antibiotic-resistant bacteria, the AI viruses succeeded where natural ones completely failed, rapidly overcoming resistance that had stumped evolution for millions of years. So we've officially entered the era where AI doesn't just predict biology, it creates it.
Yeah, we are fucked.
Mate, he lost me at 6.8 billion years or whatever. He lost me there. John said, John made a great point on one of the last shows. Like, there's no way you can prove that anything goes back that far. You can't carbon date anything. How do you know how old a spoon is?
Okay.
But
let's not go on to the age of the universe. Let's just stick this like the point here is that these motherfuckers that have got all the money that we know are evil. We know the people that rule the world that have got all the money are evil, and they are looking for ways to get rid of humanity. Right? They are looking for ways to get down. Well, the Georgia Guidestone says it, right? They want to get the population down to 500 million quid or whatever, 500 million people, perpetual balance with humanity, and so they want. What is there? Is there 9 billion people on the planet? So they want 17 out of 18 people to die, right? How do they do it? Well, wars don't work. You know, traditional viruses don't really work. Now they're just going to get AI to fuck us up, and they're going to create a virus that. I don't know if you guys have ever had. I've had a couple of infections in the last year, and it's hard enough to get the doctors to give you antibiotics, right? It's really hard to get them to say, okay, you need antibiotics, because they're worried about resistance or whatever. I've had an ear infection, and it did the first lot of antibiotics didn't do shit. I had an infection in my stomach as well that I needed antibiotics for, and the basic level of antibiotics that they give you, I forget what it's called now. I forget the usual standard one. Don't do shit anymore. My dad needed antibiotics. He had to go up to I forget what it was for, but it was something basically like a general illness. He ended up having to have biscuit size antibiotics, the sort of ones that you get given if you have chlamydia or something, like a proper serious infection. He didn't have chlamydia, I don't think, but the standard antibiotics don't seem to work anymore, and so now they're going to create these things in using AI that are going to be resistant to antibiotics. Like, we are fucked. We are fucked.
You guys remember though, years ago, if you were ill and you went to the doctor, if your mum took you to the doctor and you were ill, and the doctor would go, "Oh, he's got a virus. There's nothing we can do about that. You just have to rest and drink loads of fluids, and like let it work its way out your system." Now they go, "Oh, you got a virus. We can give you a fucking vaccine for that."
Yeah, that was the prescription, John.
Yeah, exactly.
Every doctor had that prescription. It was either antibiotics or paracetamol. It's
a little signature.
They're not even listening. They're just writing it out, looking.
Yeah, we are. Amoxicillin. That was it. Amoxicillin was the thing.
Amoxicillin, Calpol, amoxicillin, or paracetamol. That's all you would get. But I speaking of the Georgia Guidestones, Sean, I think they've done it. The vaccine program that went around in 2020 or whatever. I think
that's why they blew it up, because they said no, we don't need it anymore.
We done it. Yeah, we done it. Mission achieved. Yeah, I think so. So it might take 5 years for the effects.
No one can. Everyone's now sterile.
Not everybody, but a large percentage.
Aren't fucking sterile. The people that are Islamic, those motherfuckers breed like rabbits. Insane amount of ability. Insane. Yeah, it doesn't bother me either way. Wherever, each to their own. I think it's important that the people should have children, but like the Islamic faith people, like they breed insanely quickly, whereas other religions don't. Like Jewish people don't, Christian people don't, Hindus don't, Far Eastern religions don't.
It's true. Yeah. But just generally across the world, there is a population decline. If you're going to take the national average of every country across the world, the population decline is inevitable. Every country across Europe is going down. Like, there might be a few examples to the war in Muslim countries, but then you've got Israel bombing them, so it don't matter. The point is that whatever.
Don't say that again. Fucking hell! I didn't know. I have to bring this one out. I've got a different. I have to change my. Where's the thing? This is the video.
MI5 all the year.
What's happened here? Where's everyone gone? I've got to just drop the. Where's the video? Where's the video for the other one? It's too late. I've lost it now. Where's it all gone? All my videos have all disappeared. Fucking hell! Where's all my videos gone? I don't know about it.
MI5 in, mate. MI5 in. I was referencing Gaza. What I was trying to do is subtly reference Gaza, but probably come out a little bit wrong. But the point I'm making is there is factually, by the data, there is a massive population decline going on right now. Elon Musk keeps referencing it on X. I keep seeing as well. He's quite.
He's part of the fucking problem, though. He was the geezer who came out and said, "Beware of the existential threat that is AI. It might kill us all." Yeah, he's pushing for his grok to be ahead of ChatGPT every single day. Like, he's one of these guys that says, "Yeah, beware of this existential risk. By the way, take my version of it."
Yeah, he shadowed banned me, actually. I don't know if I told you, Elon Musk shadowed banned me about a year ago. I kept asking him about the firmament, and every time he was talking about space and rockets and Mars, I kept asking him how to get through I kept asking him questions, like not dumb questions, like smart questions, mate. And not once did he ever reply. I got to a point where I was like, 2,000 people
every time he posts, it's probably 4 million other people that comment.
Yeah. True. But it got to a point where I had 2,000 people that were liking the comment, or I had loads of replies. And the last time I did it, I got 15 views.
Oh, really? You got
so it was quite obvious that I've been put on a list by Elon Musk. Maybe this is why I've got a bit of a chip on my shoulder against him.
Maybe.
If they get rid of most of us, though, what the bloody hell are they going to do? Because there's hardly any of us left. Who's going to do all their bidding?
They don't need it to. They've got robots, haven't they? Sex robots.
Yeah, but what are the robots going to do for them if they're like vampires for our energy? They're just going to be left with machines.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Then. Can you imagine?
You guys believe in this soul capture and this cyclicality thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does that work then? If the population declines, how do more and more souls keep getting looped back in?
Exactly.
They kill the soul. So the soul's been killed with the fetal cells that are in the vaccinations. I think I told you before. So
I'm fucked. So my soul is dead. I'm soulless now.
You said this last time. But yeah, you asked a question. I'm just giving you a plausible answer.
You believe that I now have no soul?
All I'm saying is if you've injected something into your body that has got a fetal cell in it, it kills your soul. So hopefully you've had the saline solutions and you haven't done that. But to answer your question, to cut down the recycling program of souls, that's what you would need to do, which makes sense, right?
Why does fetal cells kill the soul? Where's the science?
It's like you're like ingesting baby the same way that these people ingest adrenochrome. You know, it kills your soul.
People eat their placenta after they've given birth.
That's not the same. That's not the same. It's you know, like you're talking about a traumatized infant or whatever that's been dissected into billions of pieces and then injected into billions of people. Like it's like just the switch off switch for the soul. I think they figured out what that was, and that's why each of those vaccinations had that in it. And
I'm slightly more concerned about what I put up my nose on a Friday night than what someone put into my body. I definitely don't. I definitely regret taking the vaccine, but not because I think my soul is dead. I mean, I don't know.
I just had an answer for your question. That's all. You had a very good question, and I had a plausible answer. That's all.
It's not a nice answer to hear, to be honest. But listen, mate. I like you, bro, but you are dead to me. Literally,
you are dead to me. One day you'll be gone, mate. But no, again, you want answers, things to make sense, because otherwise there's always a way out.
It doesn't make sense to tell me that my soul is dead, man. That's not. Doesn't make sense.
I said I hope you had the saline solution. I hope that you have one of the watered down versions that doesn't have that. But to stop the reincarnation program of 6 billion people, or what was it? They went down to 500 million. There's 8 billion here, so they need 7 billion people going for a recycling program of souls. You need to kill those souls.
I don't believe in the soul recycling program either. Like, what are we doing here? You're just saying these things.
Is that like on a Tuesday night, you put out a load of souls and then they take them and then they put them in a big lorry and they recycle them.
It's like the dinghies in Calais, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those TV shows about the kids that recall their past lives? Have you ever seen any of those types of shows?
Yeah, I have seen them. Yeah,
that's what that's.
Listen, but my brother's got a boy. He's got 4 kids. One of them is a kid called Rob. He's about 4 years old. First time I met him was last year. He was about 3, right? And we were driving with 2 different cars driving to a restaurant for dinner. And I was driving, just me, my mum, and this kid Rob, my nephew. And we started talking to him, and he started saying, he goes, "Oh," I said, "What are you scared of my dog Bugsy?" And he's like, "No, I'm only scared of snakes." And I was like, "Oh, have you seen snakes?" He's like, "Yeah, I was bitten by one." And I was like, "When were you bitten by a snake?" He's like, "Oh, in the jungle." And I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "Yeah, I was bitten by a snake." Anyway, so he told this. He's 3 years old, right? But he told this story effortlessly, fluent, and without any shame. And I got to the restaurant. I said, "Danny," because my brother lives in Singapore, right? So I was like, "Did you go to a place where there's like a forest or a jungle kind of thing?" And my brother's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Your boy just said that he was bitten by a snake." He's like, "What? No, of course he wasn't." I was like, "What do you mean?" Anyway, so they carried on with the dinner. On the way home, I said, "Rob, what happened with that snake?" And he told the whole story. He went into so much detail. Absolute full of shit, mate. But nothing happened. But he told the story with absolute unbelievable accuracy, unbelievable confidence. And I just feel like sometimes when little children tell stories about their former lives, I think they've just got wild imaginations.
I agree. There's some good examples of those types of videos. I don't know if you've ever seen the ones with the young kids in America that have been brought up in battleground states, places that were like Civil War battlegrounds, and they've got like this, that they can remember like being in the war. They can take them back to where they actually died. And, they remember the names of their friends, they remember.
Maybe they just had a dream, It's
crazy, mate. Whenever my son says mad shit, I always like, what you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always try and figure out if he's like some sort of type of reincarnated soul from somewhere, try and find out what planet he's from or whatever, or wherever he's from. But
yeah,
I don't know. But I think the soul's reincarnated. I do think the soul's reincarnated. I hope they do.
Via the moon, right? This is. I need to lock this story down. So the moon is it the moon that's the soul capturing capturing thing?
Some say.
You don't say that.
I don't say that. No.
Is it Saturn that captures the soul?
I said lots of bad shit, but I didn't say that.
Who captures the soul?
I don't think anyone captures the soul. I don't necessarily think there's like a washing machine that goes through. You know, I don't know.
Daniel Levy used to capture souls, didn't he?
Yeah, mate. He's a time down to 5-year contract on £50 a week.
If you've been watching Spurs for long enough, you've lost your soul.
No, I don't know. I don't have all the answers, mate. But I like to think that I'm on a journey to try and figure a lot of stuff out.
No, listen, I love it, mate. I love it. I absolutely love it. But guys, we've been going 2 hours and 45 minutes, longest show so far. And I can tell by my network activity that MI5 are listening. So shout out to them. Shout out to the lizard people that might have dialed in. Big up to you, Johnny Boy. Big up to you, Nikos. Can we do when? Should we lock in or pencil in Wednesday? Tuesday, yeah. Tuesday works for you, John, as well.
Yeah, Wednesday. I'm moving the next morning, so I can't be up late.
Okay, we'll see if you can get Lorraine on as well. I'll see if I can get Susie, Perchy's missus. She wants to come on as well. See if she can join in. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's been a part of tonight's show. We've got over 105 people watching at the same time. It's 104, I think it was. A new record. We'll see if we can beat that next time. As always, guys, very much a lot of fun and a lot of this is my guilty pleasure. I fucking love this channel.
One little recommendation before we go is Mrs. Florence Marple. She did say that she would like to put a contribution at some point. I don't know if it's possible for us to invite a few people into the comments to show their face on camera and
don't let her in.
Don't let her in, nah. But no, she did suggest it, and I would love to hear people's opinions on this stuff. I know we talked for hours. It wouldn't be any harm. Listen to those talking.
John, why are you saying no?
No, I just get a bad feeling about her. As for you, Toby One Kenobi, you should be a Cherries fan, not an Arsenal fan if you live in Bournemouth.
And Mr. Unaki as well.
He's a Tottenham fan. That Arsenal badge has got the gun replaced with a cock.
Oh, is it?
I remember one of the first shows, Sean, Destiny was going to join us. Do you remember one of the very, very first shows we did on Spurs Show TV or whatever? Destiny come into the video, but his camera didn't work. He was going to come and do it with us.
I don't remember. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I think it was Destiny.
Memory. You got a very good memory, Nikos. I don't remember.
Yeah, mate, I've got to store this shit in for some reason, but I don't know why I remember this stuff, nothing else. But no, I remember Destiny come into the chat and he joined the show, but his camera didn't work or something, and he ended up not coming on. So, I think maybe invite a few people in and let them challenge us or tell us their conspiracies or something.
We'll put the StreamYard link out at some point and let everyone who wants to come on. Get
Savile or Lee Gunner in. Get Savile or Lee Gunner in. That's what I say.
Yeah, guys,
I don't know Lee Gunner.
About this for a minute. Imagine like the old soul trap, the reincarnation thing. Imagine if any of us come back as a little child, right? And we're in our parents' car, and we go, "Yeah, I remember the time when I was on this live show with my friends Nikos and Sean, and Destiny was really like ribbing and bantering Nikos, and we were talking about reptilians and fucking huge trees and big like hell pit under a castle." Can you imagine it? And like your parents would be going like, "What the fuck?
Yeah, what's going on?" Yeah. 2025 version of us.
Yeah. I ain't coming back in. I'm turning my back on it. I ain't coming back. I'm doing whatever's the other way.
And you'd be talking about Ange Postecoglou losing like all those games in one season and then winning the cup.
Yeah.
Been a Spurs fan for 30 years and seen one trophy, man. I'm going the other way. Whatever's the other way, I'm going that way.
You're choosing the dark. You're walking away from the light, right? That's the rule. I tell you, that's a big fucking risk, mate. That is a big risk. That's almost as big a risk as Ricky Gervais being an atheist and promoting atheism on a god with a God-given talent.
Mate, I know, mate. I'm a gambler. I'll probably come back as some fucking poor douchebag somewhere, mate, stuck in the middle of nowhere with no money or whatever. I'm gonna see what's the other way. Let's just see what's the other way. As long as my kids are all right, has a happy life, I'm happy. Let's just go the other way.
I want to come back as like I don't know. I'm torn between either like a dog in a nice life, in a nice family that just lets me sleep all day and just like gives me nice walks and stuff, like Bugsy Malone. Like Bugsy got lucky. If she's a recycled soul and she got a lucky draw, or I'd like to come back as one of those. What's that animal that's like? It's basically it never gets beaten up by anybody. It's fearless and it's like what's it called?
Chupacabra.
No. It's like a little bear. They're not a bear. It's like a little
honey badger.
A honey badger. Yeah, I
Oh,
want to come back as a fucking
mental
honey
those
badger.
things.
That's what I want. Let me in. Take me up, bitch. You can't break me. I'm too
They take
sweaty.
on lions and anything.
I thought you was
No
going to say
one
we'll come
beats the
back.
honey badger. Nobody beats up the honey badger. Everyone tries, but no one gets in. The honey badger is unbeaten, bro. It's brilliant. I'd love to be a honey badger.
I thought you was going to say you want to come back as Eureka Johnson's bath towel or a gin glass.
I'll do that as well. I'll do that.
Wipe me bits. Wipe me bits.
Yeah,
Someone
dry your
says
bits,
come back
Eureka,
as
dry your
Limbo.
bits. Yeah, honey badger is absolutely they're fucking ruthless. Yeah, unbelievable stuff. Anyway, guys, we've been going for too long. Love you all. Thanks everybody. Thanks John. Thanks Nikos. Great show as always, guys. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Take care. Bye.